I never forgave them for what they did to my mama.
Folks, I'm so dadgum proud we took on the largest industry in the world. Think about this, folks. 13 short years ago, 85 total people, but we said one day, watch out, big boys, we're gonna be number one. One day, everybody in the largest industry in the world is gonna know and fear A.L. Williams.
Art Williams had a passion for helping people.
You know, Art Williams had a way of selling hope to people that nobody else that I've ever met in my lifetime could do. You know, he just made you believe that if you paid the price, if you were willing to pay the price, that the dream was gonna be worth it.
My dad died when I was a junior in college, and he was sold too little of the wrong kind of insurance, and my mother was devastated. But I went to family reunion 5 years later, and my cousin showed me by term invest the difference in what my dad could have had and how much better my mama could have had it. It was a very emotional moment for me, and it was like lightning striking me. It changed my life, you know, forever.
So he got mad on at the industry and decided that he was going to put him out of business.
I was a high school football coach, and I didn't know anything about insurance. I didn't know anything about investments. You know, all I wanted to know was coaching.
And Art said, I'm going to build a company like I built a football team. And he knew that the toughest people would win.
The best way to build this company is to create the best part-time opportunity in the world.
When I first met Art, you know, he sold me an insurance policy and he sold me a $20 a month mutual fund when I was teaching school and coaching, making $560 a month. Then he tried to recruit me. And at the end of a 2-hour recruiting interview, you know, he looked over the desk after motivating me for a couple of hours, and he pointed at me and he said, Bobby, they got people in this business making $50 and $75 and $100,000 a year. He says, we can do that. 2 months later, I came to work with him full time.
Back when we first got started, it was all about us against them. We had our friends and family and relatives questioning our sanity, and we had the competition anytime we came across them, which was weekly, across the kitchen table, reminding us that we had no business being in this industry.
The first time I heard Art speak, he told us we were going to do something important. He told us how big it would be, but he said, you know, I want to let you know that the odds are against us. But he said, I believe we can do it. And he said, if we do, it's going to be big.
We were attacking the largest industry, the most powerful industry in the world. But what the industry misunderstood was how tough those original people were.
I kept hearing about A.L. Williams was a team, and it was a movement, and this team was going to win a championship. And I heard Art Williams sell the vision of this company, this team being number one.
We just took average, ordinary folks just like us and offered them a chance to do something special.
I didn't need anybody to explain to me what Art Williams meant by all my life I wanted to be somebody. When I heard that the first time, I was like, he's talking about me.
I wanted A.L. Williams to become known as the company that had more $100,000 earners than anybody in our era. And we took this thing and we went all over the country, all over Canada, all over Puerto Rico. And not only we beat Prudential, but we beat Prudential and New York Life combined. And we destroyed the largest, most powerful, most evil industry the world has ever known.
When we made the connection with Sandy Wilde, I think we really saw a mark of permanency and that we had finally arrived to a point of acceptability.
In the 90s, when we became part of Citigroup, it really was a new start for us.
So we had the foundation of a crusade tied into the professionalism and the credibility. And then when John and Rick took over, that's when our business really went to the next level.
Without John and Rick, we probably wouldn't even be here today. Putting together the IPO at a time when there was a global meltdown, what they did was miraculous.
The world was collapsing. We had, the biggest recession in years. All the big banks, that stock market had gone down. To try and put money together to do an IPO and basically buy our way out of Citi was virtually impossible. And what they accomplished was totally impossible given the conditions of the day. But they found a way to get it done. In their brains, it was do or die. They were going to make it happen, and man, they flat did it.
Rick and I were 40-something weeks in New York, and it was just a war to get the company out of Citi and to get it public.
There were many points where it was unclear whether we were going to be able to succeed or not, and that was the value of having two of us.
The one thing I was confident of is if you put us in front of people, we were going to sell this thing. At one point, I screamed at an investment banker, "Put me on the road and this deal is done."
When our company went public and we were all invited to Wall Street, it was such an unbelievable moment. Here's our company banner, all our leaders are up on the balcony hitting the gavel and the bell's going off, and we're sitting there going, is this happening? None of us were supposed to be here. This company wasn't supposed to make it.
The morning when the stock was opening, when we were all down at the stock exchange, before the market opened, and then once the market opened, they couldn't trade our stock because it was so oversubscribed.
And so Rick is up trying to figure out the math of what's going on. And I'm looking up and there's, the ticker going around the floor with Primerica listed today, co-CEOs John Addison, Rick Williams on the floor. And I just grabbed Rick and I said, "Rick, quit looking at that and look at this. Look at what we did."
Stop focusing on what's going on and focus on the bigger picture of what's going on. Focus on that we succeeded. Enjoy this.
It was one of those moments that, if you're lucky, you get to have once in your life where you took care of everybody and you pulled it off and you won.
Being part of that first closing bell experience on Wall Street was something, but to be invited back a second time 5 years later was even more special. Very rarely, if ever, a company gets invited back to do the closing bell again. It rang in the new era of Glenn and Karen Williams as our CEO. To me, he epitomizes toughness and kindness. There is no doubt this company, with Glenn's leadership, isn't going to be the biggest it's ever been.
This company has the greatest distribution system of any company anywhere in the world, and we know it. We're great because of that group of leaders that built this company over the last 40 years and will build it over the next 40 years. That's why we keep them first in everything we do.
Our mission from day one has been to be able to build more financially independent families than any company in the history of North American business.
When you think about the word history, most people are thinking about the past. One of the most exciting things about our history is it's such an integral part of our present and what our future will become.
There's a great quote that says, "I see far, for I stand on the shoulders of giants." And in Primerica, that is so true.
We're in the people business. So often people think we're in the financial services business and that, we may sell insurance or investments, but that's not what we sell. We sell a better future. We sell a better way.
I think when we found Primerica, we found a life. To know that what we do and the company that we're a part of, it will deliver, that there's not something better out there. There's no searching for the next best thing.
Because of what we've created, our future is the quilt of America. Our future is that we're inclusive. And that is why we are unstoppable.
Can you imagine waking up every day and knowing you can go for anything that you want to go for?
The last 40 years has been incredible. And as Art always said, I believe this is a company of destiny. The great things that we've been able to accomplish, the things that Primerica has done that are absolutely amazing. But we're a 40-year-old company that's 7 years young. I mean, we're just 7 years as our own independent company. We're just starting. And I think the best is clearly in the future.
All right, guys, we are going to get kicked off tonight. So if everybody could grab their seats really quickly. We are going to get kicked off. All right, guys. So is everybody excited to be here tonight? So guys, it is my honor and privilege to kick us off this evening. And I really want to talk to three groups of people tonight. So there's three groups of people tuning in, both live here with about 1,000 people in the audience, and then directly on the live stream that's being broadcast to hundreds of locations across the country. And those three groups of people, the first are people that are already in the business. People that have said, you know what, I want to dedicate either a short part of my career or a long part of my career to helping make a tremendous impact on families' lives financially. Now, the second group of people is the people that are thinking about it. Maybe they've interviewed with our company. They're thinking about coming to work with us. That was me when I came to an event like this in Kansas City. So maybe you're on the fence. You're trying to figure out, is it exactly what we're telling you it is? And what I'm going to cover with you in the next few minutes and what you'll see in the next 3 hours is it's way more than you were hoping for and way more than you expected. And the third group of people is the people that just got invited to tonight. So perhaps somebody sent you a message 15 minutes ago and said, hey, I need you to jump on this Zoom, this YouTube stream, and see exactly what I'm dedicating my career to. And so for those of you that are just tuning in for the very first time, that are saying, what's this thing all about? That's what I'm going to share with you for the next few minutes. So for those of you that have never heard of Primerica before, we are the largest financial services company in all of North America. We're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. We're about to celebrate our 46th year in existence. Today, we're approaching almost 6 million lives insured with us, 3 million investment clients. We manage over $85 billion of people's money. But see, the reality is that whether you are looking at this from a client perspective, because maybe somebody reached out to you to help you get out of debt faster, or save more for retirement, or make sure your family's properly protected, or maybe you're looking at this from a career perspective. Fundamentally, you should have two questions. Number one, what's the credibility of our company? And number two is, do we have the best products and services? Well, this is our home office in Duluth, Georgia, with over 2,000 home office employees that service the 6,000 offices to help families do those types of things. But what I need you to understand is, from a credibility perspective, we were just named one of the most trusted financial services companies in America by Investor Business Daily and Market Watch. And if you think that's impressive, well, that follows up on a report from Forbes magazine that named us the most trustworthy as well. And as you'll see in a few minutes, we do a lot of products and services. But in two of the biggest things that we have an impact on families is insurances and investments. And you see, Forbes named us one of the best insurance companies in America. On the investment side, we just won our 20th consecutive Dalbar Award. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Dalbar, it is the most prestigious award that you can win in the financial services industry. And nobody, no other company, has ever won 20 in a row for how they service their clients. So why is all this so important? Look, we know that families are struggling financially these days. I don't need to read the statistics to you, but we know this. People have too much debt, little to nothing saved for retirement, no life insurance, wrong life insurance, not enough life insurance, and most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And so we know that these are real and serious problems facing families, but here's the uniqueness of Primerica. You see, folks, what we did is we figured out a way to directly or indirectly impact 80 cents of every dollar a consumer spends. And so here's my question to you. If you're looking at this from a client perspective and we could help you impact directly or indirectly 80 cents of your dollar, what kind of impact could we make on your finances? But if you're looking at this from a career perspective, what if you had a career path that could impact 80 cents of every dollar a consumer spends? Now, in a second, I'm going to introduce an individual to you all that has led the charge to building this company to allow us to impact 80 cents of every dollar a consumer spends. Tonight, you're going to hear some new programs that we're rolling out that he has been the centerpiece of helping us build. You know, Shane Rudman is the leader of leaders. He was listed on the top 10 entrepreneurs under the age of 30 with a guy named Michael Dell of Dell Computers. So I need you to understand the person that you're about to see started from very humble beginnings. But it was the journey that he took in Primerica that allowed him to become the leader that he is today. Now, when he comes up here in a second, you're going to see that he wears glasses, some shades. You're going to go, why is he wearing shades in an indoor environment? See, unfortunately, Shane contracted a brain disease about 15 years ago. But what I need you to understand is this. It never took him out of the game. It never took his passion for our crusade out of him. And so he is back and leading the charge to create a better opportunity for us that will allow us to impact more families every single day that we go out and help them get out of debt and save more for retirement and make sure that those families are properly protected. And so, folks, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce the gentleman that's going to teach you how we impact those 80 cents. But more importantly, how over the next coming months and years, we will be able to impact more and more families because of the crusade that we have today. So, folks, let's give it up for the great Shane Rudman.
Am I on? Microphone on. I don't know how to turn them on. Probably. Says it's on. I have it on. There's mute and mic on. You would think that I would understand mic on rather than mute. Thank you, Eugene, for that introduction. You know, when Eugene introduced me, it's a really perfect example of how our company is able to let a wide variety of people have success at what we do. Eugene graduated from Harvard, went on to get his law degree, was an attorney, making six figures before he learned about our company, and made a decision to come on board with us, has well surpassed his previous income, but he owns his income now. And he's got his entire family involved in the business with him. So you got a Harvard grad, and then you have me, who grew up in a trailer park in western Kansas on food stamps and welfare, went to college for 2.5 years full time, and accumulated 27 credit hours, I was on the 10-year plan to get my associate's degree. So I had a background like that, yet a company believed in me and said that if I worked hard, if I believed in doing the right thing for families, and I worked hard, I could have success. And I'm the luckiest human being on the face of the planet. Eugene did say that 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with a brain disease that did cause light sensitivity and a whole host of other things. So I say caused, and I still have the light sensitivity, but I'm done having a disease, okay? So one thing that happened with COVID, some bad things, but there's been a lot of good things. One of the good things were all the states had to get much more accepting of right to try, and which means allow you to take medical treatments if you want to take that. I used to have to go to Arizona to get all these medical treatments. Now I can get these medical treatments, and I found out about this January 6th of last year, so I could get my medical treatments here. That has allowed me to get back to being more just me. It has led us to a point that, like I said, I've already said I'm the luckiest human being on the face of the planet, but the timing of how everything has gone down, God's timing is always better than our timing. Amen. God's plan is always better than our plan. It wasn't enjoyable for me and my family to have to go through what we did for those years. But I wouldn't be here talking about what I'm talking about tonight had not that happened. And you don't need to feel bad for me, because the company was still sending me over $1 million a year without showing up or without having to do anything. I mean, our opportunity is absolutely incredible. For those of you that are out there across the country that are viewing from the live stream, you are at the right place at the right time. And this weekend is designed to help you understand that. And I really want to plant a seed now that you want to be thinking about folks that you should be inviting to the live stream tomorrow morning. Because the things I'm going to talk about tonight, we don't have as much time as I would like. We're going to have all the facts to back all that stuff up and all the substance behind it. I normally take this 20 minutes of a function like this to talk specifically to people that are here just checking us out, not sure what we are, not sure what they were invited to watch on a live stream or here in person. But because tonight we are launching something that is bigger than anything I've been a part of in my entire career, I'm really not focusing on those brand new people. Your brand new folks get to listen and watch as I communicate with the people that have already been in our company for 30 days or 3 months or 3 years or maybe even 10 years. Because it is so important what we're getting ready to launch tonight. Everyone that's exposed to our company, and I say this for people that are brand new watching out across the country, or those that are in here, and even if you've been around for a while, everybody has 3 questions that they ask themselves when they are exposed to our company. And they have to develop 3 key beliefs. They have to have the right answers to those questions in order for them to have success here. But that first question that people have is, this thing really for real? Come on. You guys talk about monthly incomes like people talk about annual incomes. That just sounds too good to be true. You always hear that. I actually start all of my interviews in the first 2 minutes, telling them that at some point in the next 30 minutes, you're going to have the thought go through your head that this is just too good to be true. When that happens, don't be distracted. I don't have that much time with you. Google's there 24/7. You can Google everything that we talk about. When you have that thought of this just sounds too good to be true, keep paying attention, okay? So that you can get the answers you need to get. I can promise you this, that question in today's world does not take more than 24 hours to figure out. With all the access that we have across the internet, right? And no way should it take longer than a week for you to get that answered. Now, when you are doing your Googling, look at the source of whatever you're reading. Make sure you're looking at things like Business Week, Fortune, Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, those kinds of things, not our competition that creates fake websites that are laughable, but they do it anyway. Now, go look at them. Go read them. We want you to do that. We'll pull them up and show them to you so you can see how unbelievable and how scared our competition is in our industry for them to do what they've done. But just use your push the common sense button, and you'll get that answered real quick. And here's the instant next thought. As soon as you hear that, you then go, get that one, you go, but can I do it? Fear sets in. You go, dang, this thing's for real. This is actually a chance to create generational wealth in our family. This is it. And then but can I do it? That's what events like this are put on for, so that we can build your confidence and build your belief. But I promise you, we have dozens of people that come from exactly where you come from, whether it's like my background all the way to Eugene's background. It doesn't matter what your career is. We have somebody that is making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year with our company that has your background. Okay? But at this event, it's not the meetings, or maybe if you're at an office out watching the live stream, it's not the live stream and the actual presentations we're doing up here that your belief is really going to go up. It is in the halls during the breaks and the lunch and where you can go overhear conversations. I wasn't bold enough to ask a guest speaker like the incredible guest speakers that we have with us. But I was sneaky enough to follow somebody that was bold enough to ask somebody like Manny and Karina a question, and I could hear the answer when the other person asked it. And your belief can go up there. But you're going to get that. Those, I promise you, you're going to have the right answer for. And you develop those beliefs. And then the third one that you have is, will the price I'm going to pay be worth it? I am proud to be a part of a publicly traded company that was the #1 IPO for the entire year when we went public. My oldest daughter and myself were there at the New York Stock Exchange when we rang the bell to go public. We went public the same year Tesla did, and we were the #1 performing IPO. Tesla was #2. So I'm proud of being a part of a publicly traded company with that kind of credibility. But here's what I'm really proud of. That we can be at a public event and say that our founder and our stance in our company is you should have faith first, family second, and your finances third. Okay? So I promise you, if you're afraid that you're going to have to sacrifice something to get something good here, we're going to make sure you do not sacrifice things you should not sacrifice. You can apply that. I promise you, you hang around, you will find out how marriages are improved because they get involved in our business, you know? So you're going to get those answered for you, all right? You will over the weekend. You should get a lot of them answered for you. Last event, which was, I think, September 24th, 23rd, 24th, the theme of that was right place, right time. This is more right place, more right time. Okay? Because it is. A fancy word for right place, right time is synchronicity. And if you look up the Webster definition of synchronicity, it is a simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. So it looks like they're all working together, everything's lining up, it's being organized, but yet they don't even know about each other. They have nothing to do with each other, okay? If you are an MIT mathematician, you'll say what's going on before what we're doing tonight would be a 1 in a billion occurrence, okay? Or less. If you're a believer, you'll say it's divine intervention, you'll see it everywhere. I personally believe both are correct, okay? This bold statement I'm getting ready to make, the more you're around, the more you realize it's not a bold statement, but we were already the greatest economic opportunity of our lifetime before tonight. We can mathematically prove that. I mean, we developed more people that make more money than any other company on the face of the planet. We've done that with only 2% market share in the market that we're dominant in. Some markets, we have 0.002% market share, but we're predicted to dominate the largest cities of the world. I love being in the money business because money is simply math. Math is a science, and science is based on facts. So all of these facts are things that can be Googled and looked up, all right? But what we are launching tonight dramatically increases the opportunity. Dramatically increases the opportunity. More importantly, it dramatically helps people, the people of our country that desperately need the help that we have started performing as of tonight. This is the perfect storm of synchronicity, of what's happened. I'm going to fly through this tomorrow. You're going to get all the facts to back it up, see the contracts, all the stuff, all right? So plug in tomorrow morning to get all the details, all right? But debt has doubled in our country since 2004. And it is getting ready to double again in record time with horrific consequences to most every American, okay? The mortgage and debt industry want to take people farther into debt. Their entire economic model is to take you farther into debt. That's what their goal is, okay? Boy, I missed something that was going to be there. So let me tell you what has happened, and you're going to meet some great people tonight. I want to give you a quick story of economics that a dude that flunked out of college after 2.5 years full-time with 27 credit hours can understand, okay? So it's actually pretty simple. In 2019, the Fed cut interest rates 3 times, okay? The unemployment was at record lows, never been that low in the history of our country. The economy was growing at over 4%, which means things economically could not be better, but the Fed was afraid of something they thought might happen, so they cut rates 3 times that year, and in December of 2019, they were near all-time record lows. For sure, record lows for 2 generations of people that had never seen rates that low. So they started refinancing, and then COVID hits March 12th, where it really goes public, or March 11th. And on March 15th, the Fed they were really, what the heck is going to happen by sending everybody home, all that. So they cut rates to 0. They didn't have hardly anywhere to go. So they went to 0. Because it went to 0, Americans are conditioned with billions of dollars of advertising. I'm going to show you the actual companies in just a second. And they're conditioned to ask 2 questions. What's the interest rate? And what's my payment? You understand there's multiple components to the mathematical equation, and if they can get the American consumer to think those are the 2 most important questions, they can rob hundreds of thousands of dollars from people that think they're getting a good deal, okay? Advertising. So Washington Business Journal. Now this was August 22, towards the end of August this past year. And if you feel like you've been seeing more advertisements for Capital One Financial Corp, the Capital One credit card, all the stuff, right? The couldn't be easier than Slash picking him for, the guitar player of your little dork band, right? That's an easy one, right? But all the advertising, people have no idea how much money they spend. Look at this. They spent a whopping $1 billion on marketing in the second quarter alone. $1 billion in the second quarter alone. So everybody in our country, when it comes to money, mortgages, cars, anything they finance, says, what's the interest rate and what's my payment? Okay? So, the interest rates going down like they did, there was a refi boom in 2020. People, and here's, you understand, they ask, what's the interest rate? What's the payment? So the interest rates are low, so the payments are low. And this is what almost every American said to themselves. We can afford twice as expensive as a house as we could last month. So we had a whole bunch of people put their house up for sale and start building houses when the supply chain was broken, and it started driving prices up. And it's unbelievable what happened in the housing market for a 30-month period of time, all right? We're going to explain how we're going to try and help these folks before they get totally bamboozled, which they're getting ready to spend many billions of dollars on advertising to try and rob all of this money from the American consumer, right? I'm going to tell you one quick story, again, that anybody can understand. My neighbor, where I used to live, the very first time we created a debt elimination program, he had a very nice home on the golf course next to me, invited us over for a barbecue. Rates had come down, and the kind of small talk around the barbecue was, did you refinance? Have you refinanced yet? Everybody's refinanced. You've refinanced it. So Duke had refinanced, and he was very proud of his interest rate. So it was kind of who got the better deal. Everybody's trying to one-up everybody, right? And Duke's about 20 years older than I am, and this is a long time ago, okay? So I'm still the snot-nosed kid, right? I go, Duke, let me ask you, you refinance, you got that great rate. Did you do a 15-year or a 30-year? And he looked at me like I was stupid or something. He goes, 15, I would never do a 30-year mortgage. Only ignorant people that don't know anything about money do a 30-year mortgage. I said, okay, so you did a 15, yeah. I go, see, I remember when you built the house. How long you been here now? A little over 7 years? Yeah. Okay, he's been here a little over 7 years. I'm assuming with the answer you just gave me that you did a 15-year mortgage rather than a 30-year mortgage the first time. Yep. So you're about halfway through your 15 years, which is the way the math works. Now, all of a sudden, you're making headway and you're really paying down your debt, and the bank's not collecting as much interest. And what you did was you gave up that 7.5 where you're paying it down really quick and upped for 15 and added 7.5, 8 years to your prison term? Huh? Everybody was around the and then all of a sudden they realized okay, what I want you to understand, Duke is a great human being and a smart dude, okay? But he did that. It's what everybody does because that's what's marketed to everybody, all right? I want to give you an example of, the clients might even be in here. I'm not going to use their names, but the Harpers, Kirsten, we're going to talk more tomorrow with her up on stage. Okay? So she did our test of what we're doing tonight. We did the first. I'm going to go through this really quickly. Okay? Here was their house. This family had a $200,000 house. They owed $125,000 on it. Their payment was $658. They had 24 years, 8 months left, okay? Their junk debt, credit cards, stuff like that, they had $39,000 in junk debt, and they were paying $1,096 for that. So they're paying a total of $1,754, all right? We just did a small second seed loan, consolidate, eliminate, and invest the difference. Sow in the right kind of seed, okay? And it's originally set up for 15 years, and the payment is $442. So we save them that's all the payment was. So the $654, this is just on the second because they still have their first. So we save them $654 a month. We immediately set up their investments so they could start to learn about dollar cost averaging, what those rates of returns are out there. So money that they were just throwing away, they're now investing $300 a month. They take $354 and we apply it back to their loan to accelerate it. You're going to learn tomorrow. That ain't that easy of a thing to do and get it done right. That's why we make sure that it gets done right, all right? So at the end of 12 years, 6 months, they've accumulated $84,000, and all of their debt is paid off. Their second is paid off. Their house is 8 months. They would have owned their home, still had junk debt, no money saved. We reposition that, know exactly how to use that money efficiently, and they are completely debt-free, own their home, no other debts, and have an extra $725,000 at the end of that period of time. That is a mild one. The other two of the first three we did in the test was like 1.8 million here and 3.4 million. Okay? You're going to learn a lot more about that tomorrow. A whole lot of things that I promise you, you will feel morally, I don't care where you're living in a country, you will feel morally obligated to get every person you care about to learn what you learned tomorrow morning. I encourage you to get people to jump on with you, send them the link, let them watch from the comfort of their own home, and learn how we expose the wealthiest industry, one of the wealthiest industries in the world. Okay. Now, a big reason we were able to do that was because of this next gentleman. Okay. Nate Collette, he's a senior vice president and chief marketing officer for Primerica Mortgage. The guy that was in charge, very smart man that's got a very bright future on the top executive level with our company, took 18 months trying to recruit this guy. He had spent 17 years with Wells Fargo, had a career going, and was going to have to give all that up to come here. I want him to be able to tell you why he came here, give you a little bit more details about what's going on in our country. And I want you to know, this is all of our folks, this is who Nate left at home to be with us tonight. His wife, 3 kids, and he's working 100 hours a week. We're gonna have a lot of fun in the next 90 days, all of 2023, and another 19 months and 4 days. But he's never gonna put in more time and sacrifice more time than he is away from them. And I just want him to know I appreciate that he's helping us in that way. And I wanted you to hear from this dude. Why would he give up a 17-year career that he's put with a well-known bank to come here and tell you a little bit about what's happening in our future? So give Nate Collette a big round of applause. I guess you're going to do the hold the mic.
How's it going, everybody? Man, I'm excited to be here. That was a nice introduction from Shane. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm excited to be with Primerica. And I'll tell you a little bit of my story, but probably more excitingly, I want to tell you a lot more about the future of Primerica Mortgage and this amazing thing that we're all a part of and that we get to do going forward. And as Shane mentioned, I was with Wells Fargo for 17 years. It was a great career, got to move around the country with my family, had some great leadership opportunities, got to learn a lot. Looking back, I just view that as a time that I had to prepare for this opportunity to be ready for what we're about to take on and what we've been taking on. It's just an amazing thing. And there was one point in my career that really was a blessing that really opened the door for this opportunity for me to come and join this great organization. We were up in Iowa, actually, and I know a lot of you here are from Iowa. Great state, very cold in the winter. But we had the opportunity. Wells Fargo bought Wachovia, and never thought we'd come down to Atlanta, but I had an opportunity, was asked to move down there, got a promotion to come down. It was this great thing, and I moved less than 10 miles away from the headquarters of Primerica. Worked there for Wells Fargo for a while, met some of the Primericans, and as Shane mentioned, had an opportunity for about 18 months to sort of talk about this thing that was happening. And so during that time, let me just kind of show you my thought process. It's kind of, the reason it's interesting, I don't want to bore you with it, but it's interesting, so kind of view me as total outsider, know nothing about Primerica, right? And then learning more and more and more about this opportunity, about Primerica, about what's coming with the mortgage opportunity. And so from an outsider's view looking in, having all this experience in the industry, what I was seeing. So first of all, of course, we've talked about this for a long time, a year and a half. What I started to research about Primerica, freedom for families, completely resonated with me. I heard catchphrases at the bank that I was at and some of my friends and cohorts at other banks and credit unions and that around where we would say something maybe like that, didn't deliver on it at all, didn't come close to it. And I started researching and realizing freedom for families is real at Primerica. It's the real deal, the tools are the real deal, and everybody puts their money where their mouth is. It's amazing. I learned more about Main Street and middle income families. This really resonated with me because, again, I don't want to demonize everything about where I came from, but I'm telling you, we really ended up doing everything that we possibly could to stay away from Main Street families and middle income families. If somebody came in and they wanted to do a small size mortgage, you send them to the call line. We're not going to help them in the branch. Somebody came in and they wanted to know what to do with their $30,000 and get working towards investing into the future. If you don't have $250,000, you can go and do something online or talk to somebody over the phone. We're not going to help you in the branch, right? So it's this sort of mentality that happens all across the financial industry, but it doesn't happen here. And I started to learn that through these 18 months, and I got more and more intrigued. And as I went further, I got a chance to meet with Glenn Williams and Bobby Peterman and Peter Schneider and Mike Miller and Julie Seaman. And as I'm meeting with these people, I'm realizing I thought I had experienced some pretty great leaders in my time. I had never rubbed shoulders with and talked to leaders with this kind of vision in the home office with Primerica. Really exciting stuff. So I came closer and closer wanting to do this. And here's the kicker for me, these last two really. So then I had an opportunity to go out and meet Primericans, so like out in the field, a couple $1 million earners, a couple RVPs, a couple of district leaders, and I got to have lunch with them, and I got to go to op nights, and I got to look because I really want to understand what is Primerica. I have never worked with people that had so much passion, so much energy, really, really meant what they were saying, and I could watch that they were making a difference in the lives of people that they were helping, and I want to be a part of that. So kudos to you. Because that is what you all have built, and I've just joined this recently, but I was extremely excited about that. And here's where it clicked for me. Because again, this was a good career for me. We were moving up and on. I had probably a promotion coming down the road. And when I looked at all this, and if you just look at the screen behind me, minus the 18 months, look at those bullet points. I'm telling you, there is not a financial institution in the United States of America that does all of those things that's involved in the mortgage industry. And so they're talking to me about coming and, hey, we're going to start Primerica Mortgage. This is a missing link in Primerica. And so I'm taking a look at this and say, well, there isn't anybody in the mortgage industry at all that's anything like what I've just seen. Sign me up. Let's do this thing. So that's kind of how I started, made the decision. And then as I kind of looked at this a little bit further about the mortgage industry, start thinking about this a little bit. So mortgage is not a small industry. It is measured in the trillions. It's a massive industry. And you think about clients, especially middle-income Americans, where their mortgage, their home that they live in every single day, it's for most everybody, it's their largest monthly expense, but it's also their most valuable asset. It's a really, really big deal, and we absolutely at Primerica need to be involved with it. I heard a couple months after I started, I heard Glenn Williams talk about the decade of dominance and everything that Primerica was going to be doing to dominate the financial industry and disrupt the financial industry. And of course, I was a little biased because I was the new mortgage guy, but I'm like, you can't fully do that without mortgages, so let's get in there and let's do that. Let's disrupt the heck out of the mortgage industry with Primerica, and then you've got those three legs of the stool. You got investments, and you got life insurance, and you got mortgage. Then you've got that complete financial picture for any family that you want to go out and help. And it's just a massive, massive opportunity. And of course, buying a home. We're in the purchase business as well. It's actually 70% of what we're doing right now. And I wish that there was a Primerican MLO that sat down with me and did my loan so that they could do more than that. Every loan I've ever gotten, every mortgage I've ever gotten, I signed at the end, I signed on the dotted line, they got it, I never talked to that person ever again. If I would have done that with a Primerican, they would have sat down and said, hey, Nate, congratulations on your new home. How are we doing on life insurance? How are you investing for the future? What are you doing to take care of your kids? They would have gone through the whole thing for me, and as a young person, as I'm getting older, they would have been steering me in the right direction. There's going to be 3.5 million Americans who purchase a home with a mortgage this year, and it's crazy to me to think that we as Primericans shouldn't be the ones out there helping those buy those homes so that we can really disrupt the financial industry and give them the advice that they need. So I'm looking at all these things I'm going through, and then the big one comes up. And Shane just talked about the debt crisis is absolutely out of control. And I'm looking at this, and the way I'm picturing it in my mind is this massive battlefield, right? Just imagine that. And on this one side over here, you have this just horde that looks like it's never ending, and it's growing, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting bigger. And on the other side, so that's the enemy, right? You look at the other side of the battlefield, and you got handfuls of soldiers here and there. And the horde in my mind is the debt crisis. It's a pandemic. It's getting worse and worse. And Americans don't know what to do, and it's completely out of control. And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, I know the financial industry, I know the mortgage industry. There isn't anyone out there that can or is willing to do anything to stand up against this massive problem that we have on this battlefield. So again, not a Primerican yet. I'm kind of looking at this whole thing, and I'm thinking, we really need a knight in shining armor. We need a superhero. We need a massive army. We need crusaders. Anybody here in the room want to be a crusader or already a crusader? Yeah, I know you already are, but for a while we haven't had the tools that we needed to really take it to them with the crusade. We need crusaders on the battlefield. It's the only way we're going to do it. And there is no other Primerica. There is no other army of 135,000 Primericans. Almost 20,000 FNAs happening on a monthly basis. 35,000 new recruits coming into Primerica. It is that is the type of force that's needed to compete with this pandemic that we have in the financial industry that is debt. So enter the mortgage industry. So why did I choose to join Primerica and be part of this? Well, it's because it really is the right place and the right time. This is the perfect time for us to take it to the battlefield and to crusade against debt. There is no, and I'm here to tell you, there is no other company that is doing what we're about to do or is willing to do or can do what we're about to do. It just doesn't exist. We are the only ones to stand in that place and make something happen. So let me just tell you real quick about the future, what's going to happen. The first thing I guess I would point out to you is where are we at today, or where are we going to be at by the end of this year that's already started. By the end of this year, we're going to have 3,000 minimum MLOs. That'll make us one of the largest broker. I keep using the word army because I'm visualizing this battle that we have to go into. 3,000 licensed agents by the end of this year, okay? We're going to be doing business in 40 states. We are so really close to the entire United States. We're going to become one of the top 5 brokers in the United States and keep growing from there. We're already number 12, and we've just barely scratched the surface. We're going to be Rocket Pro TPO and Spring EQ. Those are our 2 lenders. We're going to be their number 1 partner, doing the most business with them, and we're going to pay out $8 million in compensation in mortgages to the field. So that's what we're going to do this year, okay? And I think we can surpass that. Well, where are we going to go from there? So we are going to get to the point where we're paying $100 million in mortgage compensation to the field. We've done the math. It's inevitable. We're absolutely going to get there. We're going to become the largest mortgage broker in the United States. We're going to have over 5,000 mortgage licensed agents and $10 billion each year in closed mortgaging. It's 100% going to happen. Primerica used to be in the mortgage industry. Now we're stepping back into the ring. We have bigger muscles. We have a little more stamina. It's a better time. The ring has gotten bigger, the market's gotten bigger, the opportunity's gotten bigger, the opponent has gotten bigger as well, but we're ready and we're ready to take it to them. So I'm excited. We're partnered with the best lenders we possibly can be. Rocket Mortgage is the number 1 lender and the best lender for us to be working with on the first mortgage side. They're prepared. They love Primerica. They're changing some of their business model even as we do some of these things. You look at the tools that they've put out there. They're buying into the Primerica model, and we've just added this amazing partner, Spring EQ, which is basically the Rocket Mortgage in the wholesale home equity space. We can help clients now in every aspect of their mortgage needs, and we have exactly what we need. All of you, all the tools that we need in Primerica to crusade against debt, and I'm excited to be a partner with you in that.
Stay up here, Nate. Stay up here. I want Nate to stay up here as I bring up our next speaker, because the 3 of us, I don't know what our nicknames are going to be, but we're going to go build one. The 3 amigos, there we go. Part of this, though, is we're educating each other, okay? He knows, I've told him, you see I do anything wrong, I offend anybody, I do whatever, you got to let me know. You have to let me know, okay? And so we educate each other. So
Shane's been educating me a lot.
An MLO is a mortgage loan originator, for those of you out there that don't know what that is, because I didn't really know what it was, right? And we are not in the mortgage business. We don't want to be a criminal. We don't want to hang around with criminals. We don't want to associate with criminals. We don't want to, you can be guilty because you intentionally did something, or you can be guilty because you should know, but you ignored it because you didn't want to pay attention, because you didn't get paid to do that. You had to do this for your job. So, as we go back and forth, I'm not in the mortgage business. He knows I'm not in the mortgage business, right? We are in the consolidate, eliminate, and invest the difference business. We have mortgage partners that these guys have done a great job building a relationship with that will allow us to do that. Because I'm telling you, most places would not want that. It's not even a comfortable conversation when you ask them those questions about, can you guarantee this is accelerated the right way? It's a very uncomfortable.
Right.
Okay? Everybody just assumes that all the big banks, all the big names, all the kind of stuff that it happens right. You're going to learn tomorrow. No, it don't happen right. We have the contracts, okay? So, anyway, yes, we have mortgage partners. Yes, it's Primerica Mortgage that he does unbelievable things for, but we are in the eliminating debt, not adding debt business, all right? So I'll oversteer the car on that. Now, the reason I want him up here is because I am writing another book that's going to be called 101 True Stories of Synchronicity. Divine intervention, ? You decide. There are so many things. There's at least 25 already that have happened with what we've been doing, okay? And there's going to be 101 easily stories. This one is one of those that you would go, you made this up. We're getting ready to bring out Jose in just a minute. Let me tell you a little bit about Jose, okay? He's with Spring EQ, okay? So he is the representative for Spring EQ, and he runs the entire relationship between Spring EQ and us, okay? He was in the mortgage business up until 2008, the financial crisis, everything tanks. Dodd-Frank gets put in place, and it's almost impossible to be in the mortgage business. He then joined Primerica, worked with Primerica for 5 years, and didn't just work with Primerica, okay? He was one of the top personal producers out there in a business part space and key man stuff and all that kind of stuff. He was one of the top producers. He's actually right here. That's Mike Roten back there. So he was in Jimmy Meyer's office. He was completely PFSized. Went through some family issues and needed to get a regular job, okay? So he gets a regular job as a mortgage processor, running a mortgage department, processing stuff from A to B. And then a little over 2 years ago, he was recruited to Spring EQ because he was so good at the other job. And for the last 2 years, he had developed the top broker at Spring EQ right now, and he helped train 1,200 people that didn't know about the mortgage business, that got MLO licensed, and then walked them through the process, okay? Sound familiar? Okay? And then SEQ chose him to manage the Primerica relationship, not knowing about his Primerica background. That is not why he was chosen. He was chosen because he already had helped build the #1 distribution at their company with that broker there, okay? So I spoke to him for the first time Friday, a week ago today. One of these days when the book is written, we'll talk about why it took a while before I had that conversation. I was trying to be the way that they would like it to be, rather than me just go fly, meet with the CEO and do stuff. They would just soon, they just go through Primerica, right? So I talked to him for the first time Friday. We spent almost an hour on the phone. While we're on the phone, he says, I'm flying myself out to that event. I'm coming out. You got a fast start school? I'm coming out. I'm not gonna, I don't have time to ask corporate to pay for anything. I'm paying for it on my own dime, okay? He then decided to fly his entire family out because we talk and he knows it's gonna be 100 hours a week. He's gonna be doing some crazy stuff for a period of time. So he flew his wife, Marilyn, out, who will be here tomorrow. And his 3 kids, Omari, Manny, and Ashley, who is, I think, was her birthday today or yesterday? It's her 11th birthday today. So when Jose gets done, we got some things for him to take back to his family so that they have a good feeling about what Dad's doing before they come and really learn what he's doing tomorrow. This is his family. He's bilingual. You can't make this guy up. Okay, if you thought I was making up the right person to do this with us, we wouldn't make that up that good because it wouldn't be believable, right? So, Nate appreciates him. I appreciate him. I appreciate Nate so much. We got a lot of work to do. We're going to make a major difference in the world with what we're doing. And you're going to learn a lot more details tomorrow. But I want you to hear from what Rocket Mortgages is in first. That's what these folks do in seconds with the idea of already wanting there to be debt elimination loans. So I wanted Nate to wait up here. Jose, come on out and talk to our folks, man.
Thank you. This is a blessing. I just want to tell you guys, I feel like I'm back home. It's been a long time coming. It's a great come together with Primerica and Spring EQ. So I've been out the business since 2015 and went through some challenges, came in, joined Spring EQ, and ended up back here. What I want to touch base is why timing is everything and this time is perfect. Right now, people need help. So the way I look at Spring EQ and what we're going to bring to the entire market, but as well to Primerica, we're going to accelerate debt consolidation and help you get your clients right back on the right financial map as you guys have set up. Spring EQ has been in business since 2016. We're going on 7 years. We're number 8 in the second mortgage in the market. So a lot of people don't think it's a big deal. To do over $1.3 billion in under 6 years last year is a big deal in our market. Thank you. So I'm going to tell you why this is great. A lot of you guys understand is clients need help and they need help fast. We all have the game plan of buying term, invest a difference, and then consolidating debt. This is what I look at. This is debt stacking on steroids. This is going to allow you to take that plan the client had and condense it down. One of the biggest things you're going to be able to see is the impact it's going to make. First mortgages right now, the rate has changed so much that a lot of clients are not tapping into their equity because the fear of the drastic payment difference. Where Spring EQ comes into place is it gives you access to still tap into the equity and still be able to consolidate debt and what still makes good sense. So just to give you guys an example, the average person right now has roughly, if they refinance in the past 3 to 4 years, 3.5% rate. We're never going to see that probably again in our lifetime. When I got into this industry in 2006, I was selling 9% on a first and 16% on a second. So if you look at the time frame, we're going almost 20 years, and you're still not going to see that point. So to let you guys know, tomorrow's going to be very important because I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts. Why is it such a big deal? Spring EQ and Primerica started talking about this in March of last year. So I've had to sit here and wait and get excited about this opportunity to be back with Primerica. This has always been home for me. The crusade that you're on is what I believe in. It is what Spring EQ believes in. Spring EQ is all about getting people out of debt. On top of that, making equity lending easy and doing what's right for the client. So I just want to sit there and set the expectation for tomorrow. I'm going to go over some key things that we're going to be focused on. What we bring to your book of business is debt consolidation, allowing you to get a complete F&A up front. So no more of playing the guessing game because let people know, I specialize in key man insurance. I was 214 licensed in Series 6. So I walk and breathe what you guys go through. I fought the crusade with you guys for a period of time. Thank you. So now I'm back in the battle with you guys, helping one family at a time. One of the key things I want everybody to take down, I'm going to say this repetitively. I'm here with you day and night. I want you to write down this phone number, 904-752-3752. You can text me any scenario, any situation, any time of day, and you're going to get a response. In Primerica, you're not in business by yourself. So they teach you to reach up and reach out. You don't have to be the expert, you have access to experts. So definitely want you to be here tomorrow to get the more solutions. Primerica is a solution. Spring Q is just one of them. So I hope you guys have an amazing night. You got some great people talking, but we're going to get more into the details tomorrow.
Come back out here, come back out here, come back out here. Okay, real quick, as we're getting ready, I want, thank you, Debbie, thank you. I want you to be able to take these back to the room for your wife, Marilyn, for letting you, they're from the South. And when I say the South. So getting off the plane, I think she felt like she was probably sold to build goods with the temperature, okay? So, a little bit of a asking her to forgive us thing. That's for Marilyn. Then, this is Manny's, Amari's, this is Ashley's. Now, the boys have to understand she got twice as much because it's her birthday, all right? So thank you, man. I appreciate you for being here, doing what you're doing. Thank you. By the way, it's so important what we're doing through them that he is staying over tomorrow afternoon to do a boot camp to walk you through the details for those that want to know how that stuff works. But he's going to be speaking tomorrow morning, and you're going to be able to hear how their products blow everything else out of the water. Okay, I'd started in March saying we needed seconds from Rocket so that we could help people the way we need to help people. And when Rocket finally got around to saying, okay, they, for 60 days, said that we were going to have seconds the way that we wanted to do them. And then they found out, they came back to us and said, I'm sorry, we can't do seconds. And we'll explain more tomorrow why they couldn't do seconds. The reason they can't is because of everything that's happened in the economy and how all the funding, how everything has gone to first mortgages. Second mortgages are separate entity, and there's just nobody that can handle the volume. There's just nobody that can handle it over there. But SEQ, right, can handle it. And Rocket was going to allow us to go to 90% LTV on people's homes, up to $300,000 to consolidate debt and help get them financially independent the way we know how, okay? Spring EQ is going to 95% and $500,000. And you're going to get a lot of details tomorrow about what that stuff is after you learn more about what the industry does. So that's going to be incredible. You want to be there. And out there, trust me, you're going to have fun, good information to learn tomorrow that will blow your mind, okay? Okay, we are getting ready to do some recognition, okay? We are a company that believes in finding what is good in a person and pointing it out and getting them to understand. That is why they have a chance to be successful. One of the things that attracted me to the company, I guarantee you, was a thing for most folks, is that it was founded by 7 coaches and teachers, and they were running it just like a sports franchise. a professional sports franchise. So you had a chance to compete again. We have a blast doing what we do. And if somebody can give me one of, I don't know, whichever one I said, that there could be three of them that, actually, yeah, there you go. I'll grab them. And as we go from one to the other, I'll hold them up there. So, once I realized I was going to be able to be a lot more like me and go do what I did, only way faster than the stuff before because everything is in such a better situation. We had a recognition program with jackets before, but they were like Letterman jackets. And then I had leather stuff made out in South Beach, or actually not South Beach, in Malibu. And so we had some cool stuff, but it wasn't up with the times, right? So I said, I want to find the coolest thing that has a real meaning in life. And so I did research, and I found a company that won the contract to do the first military jackets for our people going to war, okay? And they're a second generation, third generation company now. They still have those contracts with the U.S. military. But the son, wanted to make something more of a fashion statement. And so, the hippest, coolest people wear these jackets. So when you see it, you go look them up when you see them, and they will be all over. They're on the runway. They're the cool thing to have, besides just the military thing. So I said, I wanted to get that. And then, that's probably because that's a husband and wife there. That's what they're saying, okay? This is the real stuff. So that's what's sewn in, just like, so if the pilot was shot down, then all the different languages are here that says, if you get this person with this jacket on back to U.S. folks, there is a big reward. It all spells it out on there, okay? And it was the way that Nate, we are in a war, folks. When you understand, we're in a war to save Main Street America, which is really about 80% of America, okay? And we are going to win that war, okay? You'll understand more tomorrow how we're going to win that war and why why the most powerful companies on the planet contact us every week begging to get in the door and have us market their stuff. And we don't, it's unbelievable you got to go through to be able to do that, okay? So anyway, cool jackets. I don't have time to go through. When you get in the leadership council, which means you lead from the front, you gotta lead from the front to be successful at anything. At this patch, like I have a military jacket in the back, there's a whole lot of different patches. They're gonna wind up being able to be put on these things, just like in the military. But this is leading for freedom. Okay, and this is our leadership council patch. You have to personally recruit 3 people, and you have to personally write at least $8,000 in production, and you get the jacket with the patch on it. Okay, when you do, here's one with the back on it. When you do, our staff was smart. I go, you either need to have directions for all these folks that are getting these jackets of where they can get a needle and thread, because these patches we weren't putting on, they were just getting here in time. So people, just like your letter jacket when you were in school, they gave you the letter, but you had to go sew it on, right? And I guarantee you, I know our people would be doing the same thing I would. I'd be driving around all night till I found a 7-Eleven that had a doggone piece of thread so I could sew these things on, right? So they got some sticky stuff, so they didn't have to, they're temporarily on there for you so you can wear them and still have them sewn on. So when you do 25, no matter what level you are, you're a district, a division, regional leader, RVP, you do 25 and 25 in a month, then you get the we are changing it. I used to say we will change it. We are changing it now, okay? So that patch, that big one goes on the back. When you are, then there's the inner circle where you do 50 and 50. Tom, who we're going to talk a lot more about later tonight, is right now, since we started this, the only one that has gotten in the inner circle. He's done it multiple times. Then there's something that we are announcing tonight. Let me give these. These ladies are like, you are messing up our stuff. Try to be Nate, the executives with Spring EQ, and the executives at Rocket Mortgage. You're going to have this done by the 27th or you're dead to me stuff. Okay? So, this one is the first time we're going to be giving this one out. And this is the Lone Wolf patch. Okay? So, the Leadership Council goes over your heart on the left-hand side. Then on the right-hand side, it's the Lone Wolf patch. I said once we started getting things going the right direction, I wanted to make sure people that were out doing whatever part of the business that was important to them had a chance to get one of these jackets, okay? And so the Lone Wolf, I mean, if you go do any of your reading, you go do your studying, you know, everybody hears about a lone wolf out in the wilderness or whatever, and what a lone wolf is like. There's a lot of reasons why they go become a lone wolf. The ones that go become a lone wolf and survive on their own without the pack, to be able to survive on your own without the pack, you is a bad wolf, okay? And when they basically get invited back to the pack, they are the best pack leaders because they know what it was like and they survived, and only the toughest ones survived, right? So I knew that we had people that were going to be investment specialists, financial advisor specialists, are going to do debt elimination specialists, are going to be all those kinds of things. And I said, we just get a little under our belt, we'll come out with something for that. So this is the first time for this. So before you're a regional vice president, if you make over $16,777 in 1 month, then you get the Lone Wolf patch. If you're a regional vice president and you make over $25,000 a month or in a month, then you get the jacket and the Lone Wolf patch. And then we got patches for people to make $41,667, $83,334 in a month, $160. So we have all the stuff. By the way, people think that I'm crazy. I'm different. Worst thing you could call me, the most offensive thing you could call me is normal. Okay? Because, look, in our business or in winning at anything, this is what it is. If you're odd or weird, people think I'm weird. Weird, rich. Normal, poor. Okay? Just 2.5 years ago, when I finally, just because of Zoom, even though I wasn't healed all the way yet, I could start plugging in, and I'd just done the math, and I go, we are soon going to have people that are making $1 million a month. And that's if we just keep doing what we're doing right now. And for the first time in Dallas, our attorneys, our executives from the stage started talking about, we are going to have people that are making $1 million a month. So, I mean, that we are just on the front end of where we're getting going. So, the Lone Wolf, and I'm not going to take time to explain, but there is, trust me, there is so much meaning in every little part of those patches. And when you understand it, you'll feel good about what it is, okay? So we got our folks that are going to start coming across. And I think they're coming up that side. And they're going to come down that side. Okay, Manny, Karina, Nellie, Raul, can we get you guys to come up? I don't want you to have to work too hard. But I'd like you to be able to shake these folks' hands. And we got people with cameras and all that stuff to get photos and everything. So if you could just kind of greet them as they're coming across, we gonna get rolling and get these folks coming across. So, oh, and there's more when I get to there. I'll explain it. I'll go all the way to Casey before I explain it. Yeah. So our first one coming across with their Leadership Council jacket was a former McDonald's manager, doing a heck of a lot better than that now, Tim and Amanda Armstrong. Down from the Southwest, where we are open for business if the seed loans in Arizona, how they have it written, the Phoenix Destiny, Drew Acosta Lama. Next, former military. I'm going to screw this name up so bad. This is where I need an adult with me that knows how to read. I'm going to screw this up. But also down there in Arizona, Nehemiah Cole Ben Israel. What branch? Hey, what branch of the military? Does anybody know what branch of the military? Next, healthcare administrator, Kalia Newton. This is about 4'11" of stuff you don't want to mess with. Former hairdresser. He was a chief financial officer of a company. They were making six figures, left that. They're one of the biggest blessings in my life. But former hairdresser and CFO, Jody and Dan Orr. Optician, former optician in Wichita, I think, David. I think that's where the Martha Esperanza and Erica Esperanza. Former convenience store manager, office manager. Unbelievable what they did at our last event. Excited for them. Craig and Lisa Hansen from over on the Illinois side of St. Louis. A former accountant. DP, Destiny, Lupa, and Monk. A chef and a corporate sales manager. Also from down in, I don't know if they're in Arizona, but I know they're in Arizona. Tech, that's what I thought. In Texas, James and Leah Woodford. A former, thank you, a former teacher. A lot of teachers do unbelievable what we do. They all need to be making more money, okay? Leah Costa. Customer service and a welder. Telling you, we have every walk of life winning at what we do. Elite Urba and Joaquin Lopez. Casey. You have coins right there. And you know what? I think, I just remember. So, when you do it 2 months in a row, or 3 months in a row, or 4 months in a row, or 5 months in a row, you get star patches that go around it. And they somehow got lost in but the Corings have 5 stars from when we just started this. They got 5 stars they'll be putting on. So, Casey and Jennifer Corey. That's Corey. By the way, if you want to know who to learn from tomorrow, who to talk to tomorrow, who build a relationship with tomorrow, it'll be the people that have the jackets on. Okay? Now, our lone wolf folks, our first one, and this only started in December, so this is only for December that we started with the Lone Wolf thing. And we'll get a lot more details out on the app that explains everything, all right? Incredible human beings. I was talking to them and their son earlier this week. And so from December, a slow month, getting their jackets, Steve and Marla Vermeer. And he was a painter, and I don't mean a painter like an artist. I mean like slap paint up on the house. Next, advertising and a nurse, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And just incredible human beings. You're gonna hear from them in a little bit, doing some more recognition later. But the incredible leaders that give everything they've got to help us do what we need to do. Jim and Mary Nye. Then over in St. Louis, this guy would be able to attest to how busy I've been because I talk to him every time he calls. We communicate quite a bit. And I will bet you in 2 months, I haven't been able to get back to him once or twice. He was a student. She was an accountant. They are studs, getting their Lone Wolf patch with their jacket. Todd and Trisha Bosler. Another painter related to the other painter, and you're going to hear from this guy tomorrow teaching about investments in such a simple way. It'll be powerful. The incredible Greg and Sandy Vermeer. Now these people already have their jackets, or they're gonna get their jackets because of the next thing. It's just the order this is going in. So that they're getting their wolf paw patch, and then they got a jacket, bigger jacket coming in a minute to put it on. Mark and Nubia Hansonia. Down in Wichita. This guy can teach you a lot. Okay, this next guy will be the first or one of the first to make $1 million a year on his own pen, what he writes in the investment side of the business. Don and Vicki Oliphant. He was the president of the Carpenters Union. Next, this couple was the very first couple to even know about the Wolfpack. They were with us in Dallas. December's a slow month. stayed right at $50,000 in December. And love these people to death. Keith and Larissa Hageman. I'll bet you Larissa's taking a picture. Bill, is this true? Was Bill really a bill collector? Was Wayne really? He knew how bad people needed it, okay? Made almost $68,000 last month. Wayne and Deanna Olson. Okay, all world team. So people that do 25 and 25 in their team, they get the big patch that goes on the back. A lot of them probably already have their jacket because most of these people were in the leadership council first. A former pastor. He's still a pastor. He just has a much larger audience with his ministry. And I heard he lit it up this morning. Tom Rice couldn't stop talking about how good he did this morning in that workshop. Tellis and Sharice Fulton. The next two, following in my footsteps, college dropouts, the Phoenix Co. Julio, I got screwed up a name every time. And CC Garcia. You're going to hear more about these people in just a minute. And tomorrow, they're a big part of what we're doing with this rollout. I'm going to talk more about them in a bit. But all-world team, Corey and Kirsten Harper. Wells Fargo's rep, salon owner. You're going to hear more about them tonight. Chico and Nicole Jones. Another person you're going to hear more about tonight. All World Time, many times. By the way, All World Team works the same way. So you have that patch. And when you do it months in a row, you have your stars that go around the patch on the back. So, and this guy's done it a bunch of times. We're going to talk more about him later. David Rice and Haley Landel. Personal banker, credit union, Lundy Lichtai. And then Inner Circle. You're going to hear a lot more about him tonight. And he actually gets to work with me to design what we're doing for the Inner Circle patches on the jacket. But they've done 50 and 50 so many times since we started this a few months ago. It's not even funny. The incredible Tom and Kristen Rice. Two more, and then you're gonna have to meet somebody. Now we have two new people. Both went over $400,000 in income this last month, and they're going to blow through to $1 million. Already been across here once. They're getting their fourth diamond added to their Super Bowl ring. Don and Vicki Oliphant. Our MC of the Specialist Workshop this afternoon. Great folks up in Nebraska. Farmers for over $400,000. and somebody's on their rear end about getting to $1 million in a hurry. Kenny and Helen Engelmeyer. Okay. Everybody kind of get their picture and start to move down. Yep. Cool. I got to get my question. Okay. I've got somebody. Actually, if you guys just stay up here for 3 more minutes, I want somebody to get a picture of this, okay? So, when my kids were really, really little, fourth one wasn't born yet, I started asking them a series of questions. And we would add one and add another. You can go ahead and start to turn the sound down. I asked them a series of questions, and we've been blessed, all of our 4 children, adult children now, one, whatever it was they chose to do, you know. One was a state champion and invited to be to Colorado Springs, and we were making a decision whether we were going to take her out of school in 3rd grade, you know, to full-time have somebody because of gymnastics. And then she busted her kneecap twice, or hyperextended her knee. So she retired at 11. You know, then my son went and won a national championship in basketball. All of our kids have won at what they've chosen to do. And I actually think a big part is these questions that we would ask our kids, and all the people would meet them, just couldn't believe how our kids were. We wound up doing this all throughout the company. We would have family ship days, and any kid that knew the answers to the questions, we would recognize them, give them a t-shirt, all that kind of stuff. Now I have a granddaughter. And I asked her if she would like to learn the answers to the questions. I'm old enough now, I cannot remember all the questions in the proper order. And she doesn't live with me, so I'm not asking them every time she turns around, although I'm asking every time she's in her house, which is often, right? And so I asked if she would like to practice here for what we could do in front of 50,000 people at the convention in 2024, when we have all these people up on the stage. We did this with our kids probably 25 or longer years ago at the convention, okay? So I would like you to meet Adelaide. Come on out, Adelaide. You want to hold the microphone? Okay. She's a rock star, trust me. She's this much taller than everybody else in her class and this much faster and all that kind of stuff. Her dad won the national championship in basketball. Her mom was a college volleyball star. So she does not lack for self-esteem. So, do you want to try and do the questions? You excited? Oh, I forgot to tell you.
I already know what you're going to say.
I tell her every time she's my favorite. I go through this whole deal and just make fun. So, all right, so let's see if she can get the answers to the questions. Are you ready? Okay. What do you pay for everything?
Pay cash.
That's right. What do you do with credit cards?
Cut them up.
That's right. Where do you invest your money?
Mutual fund.
That's right. What does hard work do?
Pays off.
That's right. Who do you become like?
The people you hang around the most.
That's right. So who should you hang around?
Winners.
That's right. What's the most important part of being a winner?
Positive attitude.
That's right. Let's see. Yep. How do you win?
Work hard.
That's right. How do you get better?
Work harder.
That's right. Why do mommy and daddy work so hard?
To make our family's dreams come true.
That's right. Why else do mommy and daddy work so
To
hard?
make other people's dreams come true.
That's right. What does winning get you?
Respect.
That's right. What does respect equal?
Influence.
That's right. And what does influence equal?
Leadership.
That's right. And what can you do with leadership?
Change the world.
That's right. Nadia, baby, here, I'll lift you up real quick so we can get a picture. See, I told ya. So, I promise you, one of the things of the 3 questions everybody asks, one of the key beliefs you have to have is the price going to be worth it? I am telling you to raise your children and grandchildren or nieces and nephews around good people that have hope, that want to win, that want to do the right thing. You're going to see as we end tonight, incredible family that has done that. I promise you, you can't be in a better environment than the environment that we're in, you know? So I'm proud of you, very, very proud of you. I owe you. I got something for you, okay? Make them get you cupcakes. Okay, I don't know where my backpack is. Maybe it's in my car, is what she said. Maybe it's in my truck. Is it okay if I... No, I know her. I know her. Is there a backpack over here? That's it. Yep, that's it. So, she was playing soccer this fall. And as she was playing soccer, she was being so nice to everybody. And she didn't want to take the ball from the other people. She felt bad. Well, yeah, we got you to that point. But I said, tell you what, I'll give you $1 and another $1 for every time you take the ball away from them, so you can keep one and you can give the little girl you took the ball from $1. She scored like 5 goals the next thing, right? So I had to go get some dollars. It's in here somewhere. So I had to go get some dollars, right? I might let Gina dig in there and find, oh wait, there they are. So I had to go get some dollars. And so when I went and got some dollars to give her dollars for her stuff, she didn't know all the questions yet. And I went, all the ones that we forgot to do for soccer, if you'll know the answers to the questions, and the first time I ask them to you all the way through, you do it in front of a large group of people, you can have all the dollars. I'm telling you, every time she walked in my house, can we work on the questions? Can we work on the questions? She would go, can we sneak out and go downstairs and just you and me work on the questions? You did good, kid. What does hard work do? What does hard work do? That's right, it does. Way to go, kiddo. Love you. Go back to dad. Okay. That was, it's late for a 4-year-old, right? She just turned 4. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm keeping you up here. I'm making you work. We got 4 more, and then then you're going, right? All right. Man, the greatest contract in American business. Oh, by the way, so Aaron and Mike, will you come up here with me, please? And Tom, will you come up here with me, please? So Aaron and Mike, Tom, run quickly, fast. My life has been helter-skelter. I'm not ignoring anybody on purpose. I know you've all texted me. I'm way behind, okay? It's been a crazy time with everything that's been going on. So I actually have some stuff from these folks, but I want to make sure I get this right. So Tom. She ran a church. Yeah, I want.
Office of Facilitator over 2,000 members, right?
So
yeah,
she ran the systems of the church, 2,000 members.
Yep.
Okay.
And
CFO, Hewlett Packard.
Yep.
Right.
Packard, right. He actually recruited himself. He walked in our office, recruited himself, got licensed in less than a week. Then he left on vacation, right? Then he came back, right? This guy's one of the hardest working people you ever meet. Super committed, a person that everybody wants on their team. And after the pandemic, he became a different person. He flat got after it. And those two together are tenured up, and we're super proud of them. And he's a super brand new, right? Regional Vice President!
Getting
Mike
promoted!
Ademi Purcell!
Mike Ademi Purcell! I got these covered. Yeah, step here. We want to get all of them. It really is, man. I'm telling you. There's a reason Manny left $300,000 and turned down $500,000 to return. It's so much better here. And the secret's starting to get out, man. Which one should we go?
Antonelli, right?
No, is that the order that we should go in? Oh, they're all the same, all right. Look, I've known this, I say kid, but he's not a kid anymore. I remember taking him to Disney World. I took like 5 or 7 of our top families, rented houses down in Orlando, and we went to Disney World, but we did Disney World right. We did Disney World the way, it was, I guess, yeah, I don't wait in line, okay? I spent enough time waiting in line, right? So we went in the back doors, and this dude, by the way, we'll talk more about it later, but so Tom is a second generation Primerica, okay?
Right.
And you're gonna hear from him tomorrow, close the whole thing, and you'll understand more. So this is 3rd generation regional vice president that's getting promoted. Made over 100,000 6 months ago. But went over 100,000. I think in the last 90 days. Yeah.
First ever 3rd generation of the company.
Yeah. First ever 3rd generation RVP, ring wearer before RVP.
In Primerica.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, the things we're working on, what we're putting in place to create generational wealth for families, so every member of the family has a role to play, is going to be incredible. He is super competitive. He is the most persistent human being I have ever met in my life. Okay, I was 2 years ago, I think it was. I started working on a program before the mortgage stuff, and I had to go all the way to the top attorneys, debate these attorneys, and do things they said, no way, can't be blah, blah. They all, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna do it. And he would not, he had a client, he knew it was the right thing for him, and I'm telling you, I don't say he called me every day, but he was relentless, and I go, dude, I'm dealing with the general counsel of a publicly traded company that is predicted to dominate, and I'm doing it for you. I promise I'll get it when I can get it. Okay, can you do it by the end of today? I mean, he's persistent, man. He's gonna be $1 million earner. It's unbelievable. He's the oldest of 5, graduated from college in 3 years, so he can have 3.5 years, so he could get after it in Primerica. How old is he? 25? 25 years old, already got the ring, will blow through all this stuff.
Won 10 company trips already.
He won his own 10 company trips already. And Haley helped run all the stuff around the office.
She's the boss of the office.
There you go, boss of the office. So an incredible partnership. I'm proud to promote him. I know their dad is proud to promote him to Regional Vice President David Rice and Haley. This next couple get promoted to Regional Vice President. Extremely talented, okay? And in life, your greatest gift will be your greatest weakness until you accept that's the fact and you harness it and really use that gift. Both these people are very gifted, okay? I believe when we started this in the summer, they were the very first month they could. They were in the Leadership Council and All-World team. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were even regional leaders yet. I don't know.
Did it with 30,000 premium, I think.
Yeah, right off the bat. And they just kept clicking along. He was at Wells Fargo, so I think that, Nate can relate to that, A salon owner, so I know Jody can relate to that, has so much talent. And I said, I've prayed for him before. I think I've prayed with him before. And I continue to pray for him that he does not let his talent hold him back from the greatness that he holds, because he's
magna cum laude.
See, I didn't even know that. Whatever that is, magna cum laude. The smartest one in the room. That's what that, right? I don't know how you even say that. Magna cum laude?
Yeah.
From ISU. So I mean, he's a smart dude, right? You gotta be careful when they're that smart. I'm not being funny. I'm like, I pray for him. Not kidding. Because this dude, this couple,
the winner,
unbelievable rock stars. They are winners. They're future $1 million earners. They know they'll hang around whoever they got to hang around. They'll do whatever they got to do. I know he believes and knows he's called. This is his ministry, and they're going to do unbelievable things. New Regional Vice Presidents, Chico and Nicole Jones! Okay, our last regional vice presidents get promoted tonight before we get to hear from our superstar guest speakers. This will be a really big, fat, long story in one of the 101 true stories of synchronicity, divine intervention. You decide how Aaron, but we'll be able to tell it at some point. We're gonna have to put it in writing so people can read it. It is amazing how important they have been to everyone in this room and everyone in the company, okay? Because if it wasn't for them winning and being MVPs of this last event at their level, me getting the chance to hear them both speak without really knowing them at all or ever heard them, and being impressed with both of them, and then hearing that she was an attorney, and then because of another whole slew of things where Aaron and I, they were coming into our office, I was gonna be anal about systems, that we would do the same stuff. So I'm learning. She trusts them to know the systems. We're having a conversation, and I hear her say she would prefer not to go back to the law firm. I needed the credibility of an attorney that was the most even-keeled, realist, no hype, just tell it like it is, because I was going to be dealing with other attorneys. And I asked her, will you do me a favor? She goes, sure. Well, I said, will you break the all-time record of getting your mortgage license the fastest? And then will you just trust me? I'm gonna ask you to do a bunch of crazy stuff. And you are going to become one of the most well-known people in just a 90-day period of time, because I need you to help me with some negotiations. You won't have to negotiate. I just need who you are doing what we gonna do. And it happened. The reason that we have the program we're rolling out with the seed loan program, all that kind of stuff, is because of what she did on her side. And he's the one out in the field doing the business, leading the charge, quit a $250,000 a year job right off the bat. She's making $150 an attorney. She don't want to go back to there. There's $400,000 gone pretty freaking quick with two little ones. I went, they can help us. She can make a bunch of money on the loan side. It was like a whole perfect thing. And everything that happened, I guarantee you, I didn't talk to him, didn't know this, but one of the reasons that Raul and Nellie were here were for Raul to talk about the seed that he sowed with his little brother, right? I mean, the way that they're getting promoted, I can scream from the mountaintops, they are doing it right. They have sown the right seeds. Their future is absolutely incredible. We're all lucky to have them a part of our environment. And Aaron and Mike, I know they're super proud of them. They're so close, it's not even funny. So you want to say something real quick?
I mean, to some of our best friends in the entire world, and I truly mean that, you have taught us family, you've taught us friendship, you've taught us Jesus for the first time in our lives. Your faith is beautiful, and we love you guys, and you earned this. So did your team, so congratulations. We love you guys so much. Congratulations, Corey and Kirsten Harper.
New Regional Vice President!
We were going practical travel side.
They only learned about the business last March. So they heard about the business 10 months ago. He went to the convention, resigned from his job, up $250,000. So I'm telling you, more and more people are coming with that kind of skill set. You know, Manny and Karina are just a perfect example to be here with that. So I'm proud of you guys. You're gonna hear me and Kirsten tomorrow talk about some of the clients that we helped and the things we did, the things we learned. Okay, as they're all moving across there, Manny, it's only you, right? Right, tonight, just you, right there. Okay, we'll let everybody start to grab a seat. I am excited. I personally am excited that I get to hear this young man share what he's going to share. I have not heard what he's going to share tonight, but I've been looking forward to hearing it. We had another couple that we had coming to this event. Thank you very much. That we had coming to this event to speak at this event, okay? Couple that made over 400 grand, I believe, in their, they're only like, Mark, how long had they been in the business? Like 30 months, they're already over 400 grand or whatever. Football coach, right? And we had crossed signals and got double booked. So we said, go to the other place. And Aaron, I think it was Aaron, I don't know who, gets a hold of me and goes, what about Manny Masood? I go, oh, I know him. My daughter and I were out there with Mario for 4 days while she was getting treatments and medical treatments for the same disease I had. I go, heck yes, man, just a sweet spirit. Yes, I don't have time to think about it. Yes. I thought it was Tony, who I had spent time with. When I was out there, Manny, I don't think, was even in the business. The reason I could say yes that quick, yep, that's who will have come, was because I'd spent time with his brother, and I thought that's who it was. So I said yes. It's like 2 weeks later, they're putting together this flyer, and whoever's been doing the flyer, I don't know who I talked to. I don't know if it was Aaron or Mary or whoever. I go, they need to get the right people's picture on the handout so I can start promoting this thing and send out the electronic thing. And you could tell they didn't want to tell me that I'm a moron and that I got it wrong. There was some uncomfortableness there. And it was just kind of like, okay. So they let it go. They didn't even tell me yet. So then I go start looking around. I go to a thing I use every day in my business, and I go and I look at the Financial Independence Council book, the people make over 100,000, and I go start looking through the Masood thing. I go, there's Tony. Oh, there's a Manny next to Tony. I wonder if they're related. That's my thought process. God's plan's better than our plan. I can't wait for you guys to hear. I already know that worked out that way for a reason, so I can learn what I have learned. But then, those of you that decide to come and just hear the optional stuff, we have at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I get to hear that from him for the first time. And then they're going to be here sharing and teaching, and they did a wonderful job all throughout the day. We're working them to death. I mean, I don't know how long they've been up, but they've been up for a long time, man. At least California time, it's only 7. But I'm excited that they're here. But out there, you need to make sure you wake up. You make sure you out there that are on the live stream, make a few phone calls. I just want you to hear. Look, he was making 300 grand. The general manager of a company that had 2,000 employees. His wife wanted more for them. He did too, but he was working 6 days a week, and you got to get locked in. They just bought their dream home. They had their nice cars. They had all that. And, they were getting ready to take over a much bigger dealership. And Manny asked for 30 days off from the owner to say, I need to rest up because I know what it's going to be like. I've never had any time off. I need to take 30 days off. They made a commitment to go to work in 30 days. Sometime during that 30-day period of time, they decided they would do whatever they had to do, and they were going to make this do the Primerica thing, okay? And then once he tells them that he ain't coming back, they're offering him hundreds of thousands more. Well, why would you give me that before I left? Then, right? Just how the real world works. So those of you that are out there, you and your negative brother-in-law, you need to have them listen to somebody that gave up a gig. 99.9% of the people in the country would say that's the highest paying thing they know of anybody, and he walked away to make this thing work. And they made it work, right? In a hurry. Over $500,000, going to be they're in just 5 years. I'm excited to hear what we're going to hear, and I'm glad that Karina made the trip and shared today. I think it's just Manny tonight, and then probably both of them again tomorrow. But give a big, big round of applause for the incredible Manny Massoud. Yeah, Jim's here. Good.
How about now? There you go. This technology thing, right? All right, one more time. How you guys doing? Damn. Man, God is so great, so blessed to be here. So grateful to the Rootman hierarchy and Coach Shane Rootman. You guys have been so kind to me and my wife and my team. We're overwhelmed, with amazing feelings, and everybody has gone out of their way to make us feel really, really special. So number one, we want to say thank you to everyone. So, man, why are we here tonight? Coach Shane invited us to be here, and we wanted to come out and just share a little bit of, put 5 years into a 40-minute small presentation, but hopefully we can, touch a few lives and show you that, a lot of us might not be in a good place and we're looking for something better. And a lot of us think we're in a really good place, but good's the enemy of great. And you got to go out there and get something better. So if you're here tonight, somebody invited you tonight, they think something really special of you. If it's your first time, and maybe it's not your first time, you've been here before, and you're just thinking like, man, this is the beginning of 2023. I call this the next 2 years, the year of the GOATs. You got Kobe Bryant, number 24, and Michael Jordan, number 23, so of the year of the GOATs, right? So we got to make sure that the next couple of years we step it up. So to share a little bit of my story, I was in the auto industry for 20 years. Boo, right? A few car guys in here. But look, I thought I had it really good. I'm the general manager. I have 2,000 employees under me, making $25,000, $30,000 a month, some months even more. I got it good. I believe that I got it good. I'm making money. We got the pretty house. We have the nice cars. But zero quality of life. In the West Coast, I know in the East Coast, dealerships close on Sundays. Not in the West Coast. They open 365 days a week, including Thanksgiving and Christmas, 4th of July. You name it, they're open, right? And, even though I was making money, zero quality of life. I used to work 6 days a week. The day that I had off was pretty much, I called it a recovery day. I just went home and slept all day, trying to recover and have enough energy to come back and do it again. And even though they were paying me $300,000 a year, I started feeling like the highest paid prisoner in the country. I'm like, man, what is the price you would allow somebody to pay you to give away your freedom? That's how I felt, right? So this still is my beautiful wife. But these were my beautiful kids at the time. Amir, he was probably 11 years old. My daughter was 8. And man, God bless me with two amazing kids. My son's just an amazing athlete, amazing basketball player. And my daughter's got the voice of an angel, right? So every time I got the chance to see my son play was through video. You know, my wife was pretty much a single mom the first 12, 13 years of our life. Nobody knew who I was. They knew she was married, but they didn't know who I was because I was always at the dealership, right? And I used to just get videos of my kids. This is my beautiful daughter, and this is how she used to communicate with me.
We're gonna sing this song. Okay.
Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. Found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. I feel like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out.
Good, all right? That was my life. I used to get videos. And it'd be midnight, and I'll be at home at the dealership waiting to close the door because I had to be the first one in, last one out, trying to watch his videos, and I never erased any of them. But I think my daughter was like 9 at that time, and she likes to sing, but, you know, Daddy wasn't there. That was just the truth, and that's how she used to communicate. So December of 2016, that's when we joined the company. We're in the back. That's actually Tony Masud in the front, my brother. I'm in the back with Karina. That's not our team. We're just super excited. Our first time in an off night, we have no idea what we're excited. We just knew if we wanted change, we had to be excited about it. We're like, if we want change and we're going to do something, we might as well be excited. We don't know what it is, but we're going to be excited, right? So that was me and Karina. You know, our first month license in January, part-time, spare time, we made $5,700. So if you're here for the very first time, you guys got licensed, that's what you could make part-time in this company, $5,700. I had no idea what I was doing. I just got people in front of my brother. He was teaching me. He did the whole thing. I clapped. I went like this. I got paid. That's what it looks like at the beginning. And guys, that was part-time. I still made an extra $30,000 at the dealership. Pretty cool, right? So I always think about this. Look, if you had an opportunity that was zero risk, where you don't have to give up your job, at least at the beginning, and the company paid for your licenses and your training, and they loved up on you, and you had a chance to make extra money working from home, and you had nothing to lose, what would you say to it? Education, financial education, licenses that you could use, you get to own them and keep them. You get to learn how money works. We're going to need that information, right? How insurance works. We're going to need that information, right? Zero risk opportunity. How could we say no to an opportunity where we could only get better? See, in Primerica, you got two choices. You're going to either like it or you're going to love it. And if you don't like it or you don't love it, something is really wrong with you. But we started liking it, and then we started loving it. So what happened is, me and my wife in March, we said we were going to be in the business for about a year and then try to go full time. But in March, I just couldn't get to the dealership anymore. Every time I would drive there, I wanted to drive my car off a cliff driving to work. I cannot keep going to this place. I hated it. And guys, they're paying me $300,000 a year, right? But I just knew that I was looking for something more. I needed purpose in my life. I needed to know that I was working on something that was going to belong to me and my family. So I talked to my wife, and I thought she was the rational one, and she was going to convince me not to do it. And tomorrow's my last day. I'm not going back. And she goes, good. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't think you heard what I said. I'm telling you, I'm not going back, and then the income's gone. She goes, good. What you mean good? She goes, listen, the only reason they're making money is because of you. If you bet on you, you can make money here, right? And I think my wife just wanted me home more. She wanted a father to her kids. She wanted a husband, somebody that could be there for them, right? That okay, she show up to an anniversary or a birthday or a school award. So we decided to in March to give it all we had. And we knew we had to get some extra licenses. So I got to study during those 30 days. And we're going to a company convention, and we're super excited. And 7 days before the convention, my daughter breaks her leg. Right, 7 days before Indy, my daughter breaks her leg in half. And me and my wife are like, man, the devil's crazy. When he attacks your kids first, right? But that wasn't going to stop me and her from chasing our dream. So we decided, they put a cast from her toes to her waist. We gave her to my mom because my mom took care of me, so I knew she was good at it. So I said, here you go, Mom. Watch her for 4 or 5 days. We'll be right back. We got to go change our lives. We got to work. In August 1st of that same year, 8 months into the business, we got promoted to regional vice president, guys. It took me so long to get promoted to a manager position at the car. It took me 10 years at the dealership. 10 years, right? 8 months here with a company that was helping us get better and grow, and everybody that you see, that was my team. And that was a team that me and Karina left us in a replacement. It was just me and her. We got our contract. We're fired up, super excited, and we knew we were going to make things happen. This was the first time we traveled together outside of California. We go to Hawaii. Our company takes you on these amazing trips, right? So we went to Hawaii for the first time. They paid for our travel. They paid for our stay. We're getting recognized. We're on stage. We're getting all kinds of awards. We were not used to being recognized for doing our job. But this company goes out of its way to make you feel special all the time, right? So we started building a team in California. This is the amazing team that I built with the amazing Raul and Nelly that are here in the audience. We had a California chapter. And before Zoom existed, but I don't know why we didn't use it. I don't know what happened. We also developed a Colorado team. So we used to travel into Colorado, crazy storms in the middle of the winter, to go run opportunity nights and be on the snow, like doing KTs from house to house. It was just crazy. But we just knew that if we wanted to get to where we wanted to go, the key here was to pass the opportunity to other people. And it didn't really matter what state they were in. If there was somebody else that wanted to win, our job was to get them to that destination. So we grew an amazing team in Colorado. We were able to promote. And guys, check this out. Just a year or so into RVP, we got paid $26,000. Guys, it took me 20 years in the car business to get to that income. We haven't even been in this company for 2 years at this time, and the company's paying us $26,000 a month. That's not a year. That's a monthly income, right? Can you imagine a place where you can go and start brand new, and 2 years later, the company's paying you $25,000 a month? Is that amazing or what? This was right before the pandemic. Right before right before the pandemic, we got a chance to go to the company headquarters and give a nice meeting. Then we went to Bahamas. And right there, we're not traveling alone anymore. The beautiful thing about this company is that you start winning at the beginning, you're by yourself, but then you get to teach other people how to win. If you look at that picture, we got the amazing RVPs, Angela and Daniela Lopez. Raul and Nelly are in this picture. And we knew at this time that we were not the only ones making money. It was a duplicatable system where we can make money and teach other people that needed to get out of their situation how to make money too. See, where I worked before, I couldn't really hire my friends and family because it was a conflict of interest. Like, what are they going to do, steal a car? They still had to work, but I couldn't hire friends and family. And if I did, I couldn't start him at a good position. Well, he's got to start washing cars. But why? Because that's just what it is. If not, they're going to think there's favoritism and you don't get it. And I can't help my friends and family do better, even if they have the talent and what is required. I couldn't. So I could never hire my friends at the dealership, right? Or my family members. Pandemic starts, and we're like, man, reality check. Let's see what this company is made from. Because Primerica is a face-to-face business. That's the way we used to do it, right? Shaking hands. I go to your family's house. I show them how to get out of debt, how to protect themselves, how to retire properly. And we're there for an hour or two face-to-face helping out families. Well, the first thing that happens in the pandemic is a lockdown, 6-foot rule. You got to mask up, and you cannot go see anybody. And we're thinking, well, if there was ever a time where we're going to go out of business or we're going to go the opposite direction, this had to be it. Guys, we're bulletproof. We're so bulletproof, we quadrupled during the pandemic. We go virtual, right? Yeah, give it up. Our company goes virtual. We start helping families over Zoom, not just in our state. Now we're crossing borders and borders from state to state to state. We're here in California, helping families in Florida, helping families in New York. And the cool thing is, all I have to wear is a nice shirt and a jacket. I could be in shorts all day and nobody knows. I don't have to waste money in gas. I don't have to waste money eating out. So not only were we saving a lot more money, we're saving a lot more money. We're helping a lot more families. And when everybody else was laying off people, when everybody else was shutting their doors, when factories were going out of business and people were getting laid off and people just had no income, our company was hiring people. Our company was recruiting people. Our company was developing people. Our company went out of its way to let families know we're not closing down our doors. We're going to stand firm. We're going to unite, and we're going to get bigger and better than ever before, right? How would you like to work for a company or partner up with a company that during chaos just only gets better? Isn't that amazing? Through it, we were about 100,000 when the pandemic started, 150. We hit ownership. This company, when you hit 300,000, they give you ownership of your business, which is 10 times, it's worth 10 times more that amount. I just invested $124 not too long ago in a license. 2 years later, we're making $300,000 in income a year, but we have a business that if we wanted to sell, it's worth $3 million. Isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy? And we're only getting started. We're barely getting to learn what this company is about. Through it, our people started making money. We promoted our first RVP, Angela and Daniela Lopez. They're making over $100,000 a year. Daniela used to be a clerk at a hospital. Angela used to be a fitness instructor at the gym, right? Then we promoted the amazing Raul Anelli. You heard from him already. Give him a hand. Raul Anelli, making over $200,000 a year. Nelly, there was a rapper named Nelly. You guys know who that is? Well, Nelly was also a rapper. She was just rapping burritos at Chipotle, right? So that's where she came from. And Raul was in transportation. He was an Uber driver, right? And you take a young family, a young couple like this, and you find champions, and you show them how to go from zero to $200,000 in income in just 2-3 short years. Raul was able to help his family retire. Nelly's changing the life of her family. I mean, guys, it's not about you. Money's not everything. When you broke, that's not anything either, right? So if you're not gonna, if you're gonna be sad, you might as well be rich and sad, right? Why do you have to be broke and sad, right? So money doesn't make you happy, but being broke doesn't make you happy either. So if you choose one, choose to be rich and sad, right? So we're showing people how to make money. Raul's little brother also worked for Uber because Raul had recruited him to Uber before he recruited him to Primerica, right? So we bring Gio and his fiance Jennifer. They're about to have a baby sometime this week. And Gio, you see our graduate driving Uber. Again, trying to figure it out. His brother shows him the opportunity. And now his little brother's making over $100,000 a year. Guys, we've only been here 5 years. And look how many champions we have in our business. Why is this happening? Because it's so much faster now. Before, for me to do 3 appointments, it took 8 hours. I had to drive everywhere. I put 80,000 miles in my car the first year in Primerica. 80,000 miles. My knees were hurting. My back was hurting. I was driving everywhere. Now I could run 8 appointments in 8 hours without leaving my house. You guys understand how much faster it is now to get to this income? We promoted last year Pedro and Araceli Gonzalez. They're about 200,000. They're about to cross their second diamond. They've only been RVPs for a year now, right? And Pedro, he used to own an ADT alarm company, making $400,000 a year. And when I talked to him, when I recruited Pedro, I was only making 100, and he was making 400. So why would he change? So Pedro had a heart attack at one point in his life, being young because of the stress of his business. And I said, Pedro, let me ask you a question. God forbid you wouldn't have made it. Or God forbid it happens again and you're gone tomorrow. What happens to your business? Can your wife continue to run it? Is the income still coming in? What happens? Because there's no way she'll be able to run it. It'll be gone within 30 days and never a dollar more will come in. So making $400,000, not every dollar is made the same, guys. Making $400,000 when you have to work every day. I'm making $500,000 when I only put in 10%. You know, only 10% of my income comes through my effort. The rest comes through my business. Isn't that amazing? So knowing that, he got to work within a year. He became an RVP. 2 years later, he's making $200,000. We just promoted my little cousin, Rami, and his wife did, and he just hit $50,000 in income just a month ago. So this is our newest promoted RVP. And why am I showing you guys all this? Because, you know, there's places where you start working, and a year later, they give you $1, $2 raise, and you're excited. And you spend all year trying to be employee of the month, getting paid $15 an hour, to trying to get to 17 and hoping that happens, right? And here you got an opportunity where you can come in, start building a business, and a year or two later become a broker, and a few more years later be at 100, 200, 300. But because there's not a paycheck attached to it that comes every 2 weeks, people don't get it, right? And look, there's never been a better opportunity to me, because if they told me tomorrow, Manny, all you could do is sell insurance, but you can't recruit, I will quit in a heartbeat. The best part about this opportunity is that I could pass it down. The best part about this opportunity is that I can go get other people and help them change their lives too. Because God said, be fruitful and multiply, right? And the gift is not for you. The gift is for you to go get it and go pass it down to somebody else, right? In the process, we were just focused on helping our RVPs and our base shop get to a next level. We hit $400,000 in income, and we don't even remember how we went from 200 to 500. Right after that, we hit $500,000 in income, guys, and it's crazy. We are so blessed, and this is not to show off. It's just to show you that, look, there's better out there than what you got right now. And if you're afraid to let go of that $3,000, $4,000 a month job to chase your goals and dreams, you got to realize that you might be in the right place. You just got to open up your mind and open up your heart a little bit. I love this business. You know, not only I get to work with my beautiful wife, Karina, my best friend, I get a chance to build a business that helped my brother also. When my brother Tony brought me into the business, you know, I knew that, man, if I'm going to push somebody up like I've been pushing people for the last 20 years, why not my brother? Why not my sister, right? If I'm going to give it all I got, if I could benefit somebody else, man, let me benefit my family, right? You know, give it up for that. I love it. Guys, and then, you know, next to Karina, you see Coach Manal, that's Tony's wife. Her and Karina have known each other since they were like 9 years old. You know, Manal's actually the one that introduced me to Karina, you know. So when Tony met Manal, he did a fast start list. They went into the warm market. Karina was there, so he recruited her too, right? So that's how I got a chance to meet Karina. And, you know, my kids being involved, here my kids were still little, but they were just excited that we had made a decision to be home. They were just excited that I could wake up in the mornings and take them to school and actually pick them up from school. Like, I didn't even know the feeling of taking my kids to school or picking them up. They're 13, 14 years old, and I've never done that. I always had to leave my house at 4 or 5 in the morning to make it to work. And then our amazing coaches, Mario and Franny Arizon, man, give it up for our coaches. They're so great. And thanks to that couple you see right there, and this young man used to work at the swap meet at the flea market when he got brought into Primerica and given this opportunity, and he became the youngest $1 million earner after Coach Shane in the company, right? I think at 27. And now with all the businesses he makes over $5 million a year. A young man that could barely read, that used to work at the swap meet, now being one of the biggest financial influencers in the world right now. Isn't that great? Isn't it great how this company doesn't judge you based on where you're from, your GPA, how tall you are, how short you are, the color of your skin, what language you speak, what your religion is, they don't care. They look inside your heart. They want to know, do you have their heart? Do you have their will? And what is your why? And how much do you want to fight for it? We finally got a chance to do a family vacation. You know, we left South America when I was 10 years old, and I remember my dad just coming to this country, and he was 40 years old. He didn't speak English, and I remember my dad just working all the time. You know, he used to work as a gas station clerk at nighttime because that's all he could get at that time. We had no papers. We were trying to find a better life. And during the day, so he'll work from 7 p.m. till 7 in the morning at a gas station. Then he'll sleep from 8 till 11 a.m. and then wake up and go drive an ice cream truck from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m., come home, eat, shower, and go back to the gas station. And this is what my dad did for 3-4 years, and we didn't realize how tough life could be, right? So until then, high school, corporate America, we never traveled with our family. After I joined the business, me and my brother, we retired my dad, we retired my mom, we retired Karina's parents, we retired Manal's parents. So all of our parents are now fully retired. They don't have to work. Everywhere we go, they travel with us. Not only we're able to afford giving them, $4, $5, $6 a month for them to live, now every time we go somewhere, we get a chance to take him along too, right? So that meant a lot to us. Just the fact that we're able to not just better our lives, but actually, pretty much retire my dad before his last days. Give him at least, 5-10 years in this life where he could actually enjoy, because he worked so hard for us, right, guys? So you gotta find what moves you. We're having a little bit more fun with the company, right? This company is so awesome. They closed down theme parks. Like they closed down Disney World, they closed down Universal Studios Orlando. They closed down their whole theme park for a day just for our company. Isn't that crazy? All the rides, all the turkey legs, all the popcorn, everything free. You walk around like you own it the whole day. I mean, who does that? When have you heard of a company that can actually close down Disney World? Isn't that amazing? And this is what we get to do. And every 6 months, there's a new trip. Every 6 months, we're about to, we're getting off, we're going back to California pretty much to pack, and we'll be in Bahamas in a couple weeks. And we'll be in Florida in 6 months. Every 6 months, the company takes you out and pays you for your, and rewards you for your hard work. Not only do they pay for your plane, for your hotel, for your trip, you're allowed to take your family. And man, the recognition in these events is amazing, right? We got recognized in the company magazine as brothers helping others, and we love this picture. My mom's got it freaking framed all over her house, right? And what a cool way to give back to your parents, right? To go out there and build a family business. We just promoted my little sister to regional vice president last week. What an amazing couple. There's only 3 of us, and we're all RVPs, right? But to be able to give back to our family and show them we didn't take your hard work for granted. We didn't, and we decided we were gonna be the last broke Massoots ever. From now on, there wouldn't be another generation, at least that came from us, that was gonna struggle for money, that was gonna have to work for anybody, or nobody was gonna put a thumb in our family anymore. Not at least if they come from us, or if they were in our environment, right? We were gonna do something about it. Guys, you gotta have vision. I always talk about mass recruit in selective numbers. I took this picture in 2018. See, in 2018, I had just gotten promoted to RVP. I was only making $100K. And if you see the numbers, the people that are number 1, 2, 3, 4, half were not licensed, and the other half were district leaders. All 4 of those are different RVPs in our business right now, guys. All 4 of them. You see Raul in that picture. You see his little brother Gio, and you see Pedro, and you see Angela. And guys, look, we wanted to do this so bad. We wanted to do this so bad that we knew when we came here, we had to work hard. We had to be a good example. And we had to treat people like gold. And we had to sell the dream. And we had to make sure that we led from the front and we show people, hey, follow me, but I'm going to take you somewhere special, right? And because me and Karina were so locked into never going back to our old lifestyle. Never. I used to walk into a dealership, even to do an oil change, and my stomach would hurt. Like, I felt like they were taking me back to prison. Like, I hated even walking in. I would buy cars over the phone, just so I didn't have to go back and get that feeling. My daughter, Dahlia, you remember that little girl that was just singing to you guys right now? This is what she looks like right now. My amazing son, Amir, that's what he looks right now. My son's about to turn 18 this year. You know, he's a big basketball player. He was born August 24th, 8/24, on Kobe Day, right? And this kid is just an unbelievable athlete. Do you know what was the best part of the last 5 years? I didn't miss one game. I didn't care where it was, Coach Shane. I didn't care if it was a home game, away game, and I would be the only parent there, screaming like crazy. I know in Primerica, just screaming. And then all the kids used to say, hey, doesn't your dad work? How come he could be at every game? Like he's always here. You know, and they used to take the Gatorade and the things for the kids, and I got to know them all. But we were always there. And the first 13, 14 years, I wasn't in one. See, being there made him better. Working hard, I was able to invest into the best trainers, the best teams, for him to become good. And I got to finally invest the money and actually enjoy watching him play, right? My daughter, you know, we got her the best music teacher. She loves to sing. She plays the guitar like an angel. And being able to not get these videos, but actually be there at home while she's practicing in the other room and sneaking in and getting a video from the side when she's not watching, right? And seeing her develop and waking up and seeing her every morning. Now I'm building my whole garage into a studio just for her to be able to sing. Guys, money helps a lot. Yes. But you know what's cool? Actually being there to see him develop. This is what she sounds like now.
I'm going to sing Remedy by Enough. When the pain cuts you deep and the night keeps you from sleeping, this look in you will see I will be your remedy. When the world seems so cruel and your heart makes you feel like a fool, I promise you will see I will be the remedy.
It doesn't have to be easy, guys. It just got to be worth it. And if you don't do it, what are you giving up, right? If you don't make a decision to maybe change your current situation, what are you missing out? See, we decided to make sure that even though we didn't have the best, they had the best. And we knew we had to get to work, right? So where are we now, man? We're barely getting started. Where are we going is the question, you know? This is just our national convention that we just came back from Atlanta. And to us, it's just a halftime show. We got amazing examples like Coach Shane, and we see what he does, and we know if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us. We just got to follow that example. We just got to lock in on the goal and make sure that how do you get to where you want to go in this business? By helping others. And if you want to speed it up, help more people. This is what our team looks like right now. All these beautiful faces. You know, we took all these amazing couples to the national convention, and they're all chasing what we're chasing. It's greatness. It's not money. It's impact. It's their purpose. It's their calling, right? Because you can make money everywhere. But if you only find people that are chasing money, they'll leave you chasing money. But when you find people that are chasing greatness, that are chasing purpose, that are chasing impact, that are chasing to be in a place where they are loved and they feel like family and they could get ownership and overrides and pass it down. When people come here, they realize they found what they were praying for. And they get to work real quick. A little bit more of our team. We're super excited. Hopefully, we're trying to promote 3-4 vice presidents this year, 3 more before convention of next year. We do want to go back and make sure, number one, that we get my brother and sister-in-law over that Ruby, and that we go right after them. And then next time when we travel, we don't travel with one couple. We travel with 7, 8 amazing couples, just like Raul and Nelly. I want to close out with this. Obsession leads to possession. If people are not telling you you're obsessed about something, then you don't understand what you're fighting for in life. You got to obsess over something. Right, guys? And I'm obsessed over being the best version of me. Because I believe that if you find a possibility like this company, and God gives you the ability, it becomes your responsibility. And you have to go get it done. If you've been praying for something, if you've been wanting something, and you come across, when me and Karina realized what this company was really about, we knew we had to fight. And we knew there was somebody out there that was counting on me and her to make it happen. We know there's somebody counting on us right now to take it to a next level. We know there's somebody counting on Nelly and Raul to take it. Guys, there's no reason for Coach Shane Rubman to come back and do this. There's no reason. It's not a money thing. He makes enough. He's been paid over $50 million while he was gone, but he wasn't done. His purpose wasn't done. His impact isn't done. His reach globally isn't done. And I believe, Coach, God kept you here for a reason. I'm so glad to be part of it, and I'm so blessed to be part of it, and so is my team. And we understand where we're going by partnering up with you and being, not only being here talking to you people, but becoming the biggest student and the most coachable to where you're going, because we're going to follow you, Coach. And we know what you're doing. Look, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. You just got to get it. Today, is the first day of the rest of your life. And when you leave this room, you got to have a one-to-one conversation. You got to get a checkup from the neck up and say, hey, no more of whatever is being holding me back. No more limited beliefs, only empowering beliefs. No more fears, only faith. No more doubt. Figure out what your why is. And if you're really here because you want to do something with your life, guys, me and Karina are not special. Raul and Nelly are not special. Even Coach Shea is not that special. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you. All it takes is a little obsession and hard work, guys. So it's been a blessing to address you guys tonight, to be able to share my beautiful story with you guys. Man, my beautiful kids are everything to me. If my daughter knows that I play her video, she's going to kill me when I get home. But I was willing to play that just for you guys, all right? So, love you guys. Thank you so much, Coach Shane. I hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you, Coach.
Great job.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
I think, there you go. Oh, by the way, if everybody could say a prayer for Pastor Lee and Patrick Orrell of having to deal with what my last minuteness of the what has happened so far this event, you can't believe what they've been put through. Just because I've been going around the clock trying to get to where we could actually roll all this stuff out, which we'll talk more about tomorrow. Manny, well, it was very, very obvious, okay? So your son has desire, right? He grows up with winners, right? Your daughter has desires, has dreams, but because you had money and a belief, you could give them more belief. You could give them the coach. You could give them the stuff. You could sell them the dream on you believe in them so much, I'm putting in a studio. And whose skin kind of like just hair stood up on it when she sang in that second video, right? So money's not everything. It's not. But having less of it is not everything. Right? God wants you to win. That book was the #1 bestseller for a reason, because God wants you to win. Okay? If you're here, He gave you a desire, a dream. He planted in you. He wants you to achieve it. He wants you to grow. He wants you to do the things necessary to achieve it, but He wants you to win. Okay? I can't say it the way I used to say it, but when I would speak in front of 20 or 30 or 50,000 people, we'd have our kids and we'd be doing what we were doing, and I would say, there's going to, at some point in the future, there's only going to be two kinds of kids. PFS kids and kids that are real ticked off, they ain't PFS kids. Because everybody in this country is going to have a chance to take advantage of it part-time, full-time, something. And when you see what Manny's kids have grown into, are growing into, that confidence. You see my my granddaughter, who just turned 4, up here in front of a crowd like this, answering all those questions. I'm telling you, kids that grow up in an environment like this, and their parents don't have to tell them no because they can't afford it. They tell them no because they need to earn something. And when they do, then they can have the best of the best, you know? And there's so many people that have been examples that came before I did. I was lucky. I was the 21-year-old kid. You know, I came in 10 years after everybody got the thing started. So I had all these families that I could copy and, you know, so it's only going to get bigger and better. We're growing by 500% in a very short period of time. Read The Tipping Point. All of the stuff is lined up. We have the credibility. So Manny, thank you. I'm excited to hear you guys tomorrow. And I'm going to bring up, Jim, we got a little bit more recognition to do, and then some really special recognition to do, because somebody has some $1 million rings to get. No, I'm just teasing them with them right now, because we're going to do that in just a few minutes. They called me as soon as he went over and go, where do you want us to send the rings? I go, man, it's going to kill him. Send them to him. He's going to want that. I know what it's like to me. And I go, no, wait a minute. No, send them to me. Send them to me so that we can give them to him. At this event, it'll be more special the first time he sees them with his eyes and puts them on his finger, right? I guarantee you, getting this ring, that means that you make $1 million a year. Getting the Super Bowl, I was more motivated the first several years in the business to get the rings than I was to make the money, right? So I'm just teasing him a little bit more. And then I said, let me call him, send him to me, and then I'll call him. So I called him and said, I texted him, I think. He goes, how do you know? They just called me. I go, because they called me. And I told him to call you. I was having the ring sent to me. And so I said, I'll send them to you, overnight them to you. I'll drive them up to you, whatever. But he goes, whatever you think's best. So what I thought was best was to give them to him tonight. So I'm going to hold on to them just a little while longer. But they're here. This reminds me of Aaron and Mike when I had their rings in my hands. Man, I'm telling you, what we do is so fun. So I'm going to bring up Jim Nye, who overrides the entire room. Jim is the single best leader for me God could give me, because he just goes, do it. Just, I'll get out of the way. He and Mary are the most unbelievable people. And so I want him to recognize a few people here who he does a phenomenal job with. And if we could get the California crew back up here one more time for some quick recognition, I'd appreciate it. Take it away, Jimbo. You have your book, right? You're doing Baha Mar, right? And then I'm doing recruiting. And then you're doing licensing.
Manny did a great job. Manny did a great job talking about the trips. Aren't those trips unbelievable? A lot of us have been on those. These are awesome, crazy great. Okay. So we're going to recognize the people that won the Baha Mar winners. So congratulations to Tim and Amanda Armstrong, Todd and Tricia Bosler, David and Shelley Beard, Tellis and Sharice Bolton, Martha Esparza, Julio and Cici Garcia, Mark and Nubia Hansoria, Kristen and Corey Harper, Aaron Heckard, Michael Morris, Yasina Hernandez and Yasmin Luna, Eugene and Darcy Krupitsky, Mike and Kim Moore, Don and Vicky Oliphant, Wayne and Deanna Olson, David Rice, Haley Lando, Jacob Rice, Tom and Kristen Rice, Greg and Sandy Vermeer, Charlie and Ramona Santina, and finally Mika and Heather Wood.
All righty. Now, we're getting ready to roll through our top recruiters. I got to tell you a story about this real quick. So on the back, it has the "We Are Changing It the World" thing, but sowing a seed for greatness, okay? About 2 months ago, I started down the path with all of our attorneys, and they go, we're not gonna let you talk about accelerating. We're not gonna let you talk about all those things that you wanna do. It's more comfortable to be in the mortgage business. And I go, yeah, well, sorry, I ain't gonna be in the mortgage business. And I go, I wanna use the smart name. We still own the trademark. And one attorney ticked me off. And he goes, we own the trademark. We'll tell you whether you're gonna be able to use it or not. I said, fine. So I went and trademarked seed, consolidate, eliminate, and invest the difference. I trademarked it. I am giving it to the company for free. but it's just to get them to understand we're gonna be moving a lot faster than what they've been used to moving for a while, right? So that's what we're giving out. And then the front has the Leadership Council logo on it, which we'll explain more about, all right? Then, for first place, the Braveheart swords. And I'm telling you, you cannot have this in your hand and not like have to swing it around. And then before long, then you're doing, I'm telling you, you just can't. So, I've grown up some since I started giving out the Braveheart sword, and I'm not letting you carry the Braveheart sword off the stage. We will give them to you tomorrow. You get to have your pictures. You get to do all that. You get to put it back in, okay? And then you can pick them up tomorrow. You don't want to carry them around anyway because we're going to have 25 different sword fights going outside with the real swords, right? So, first place is getting the Braveheart swords. And most people know that was one of my favorite things. That was one of the first things we started giving out. By the way, I got surprises coming for the next one. By the way, you want to keep working hard, I promise you, all right? So, we're going to start out with recruiting. Man, I'm telling you, you all might be intimidated by Manny and go, I could never be that. But you can override that, right? You can invite them to a meeting. You can get with your leader and send a text. I promise you, people like him are going to be coming running in 2023. Unbelievable where we're at. So, recruiting is the most valuable thing that we do. Leading by example, personal recruiting. I believe I always start with personal recruiting. Is that what's next? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Number 10, so top 10 of everybody in the room, Chico and Nicole Jones. Number 9, within retail sales, Zulma Stevenson. A former nurse and Navy pilot, Karen David Dower. A teacher, Lee Acosta. Convenience store manager, Craig and Lisa Hansen. Oh, by the way, tell the ladies behind the table what size of a t-shirt you want, okay? I was supposed to do that. She walks across here every time at these events for this category. The incredible Martha Esperanza and Erica. McDonald's store manager. Already been across a bunch of times. Tim and Amanda Armstrong. Top 3. Former pastor, I'm counting on him to really run with me in 2023. Tellis and Cerise Bolton. Number 2, tax preparer. Tax preparer, Joyce and Mike Franklin. And then number 1, and there's only the incredible Jacob Wright. Jacob, get your picture with the sword. You can do your picture, all that stuff, but then leave it up here and we'll give it to you tomorrow. Can you imagine David and Jacob with swords back at the hotel room? District leader, top 10. Business owner, Miguel Gomez. Behavioral health, Donna Rose Bugaloo. Customer service, Christy Hernandez. Self-employed, Tiffany Domina. A server, Brady Wright and Doris Jones. Getting into the top 5. Former court operations supervisor, Maria de los Steven. A student, Cole Henderson. Top 3, call center rep, Jason and Peggy Holden. Number 2, healthcare, Fabiola Herrera. And then number 1, and there's only blue number 2, and everybody else away. 37 personal recruits. Tax professional Amanda Zabala. Division leader. Number 10. By the way, those of you that are watching across the country and in the room, I want you to see what these people did for a living, okay? It's every walk of life. You should be thinking of people you know that have these backgrounds, right? So I might already say no. A former electrician, TJ and Whitney Carmichael. Sales consultant and personal banker, Angel Quazita and Roxanne Estrada. Court clerk, FedEx courier, Priscilla and Irvin Hernandez. Military, Nehemiah Cole Ben Israel. Number 6, a restaurant manager, Darian Harper. GM of a car dealership, Lisa Bush. Business owner, PJ Bonner. Self-employed, Sandra Portello Rodriguez. Car detailer, Evan Goslaw. And number 1, and there's only a teacher, Leah Costa. Regional leader, top 10 dental hygienist, Samantha and Chris Stone. Oil and gas executive, Michael and Galina Krupitsky. A student, Jacob Rice. Wells Fargo, salon owner, new RVP, Chico and Nicole Jones. Auto finance manager, attorney, big asset to everyone in here, and new regional vice president, Corey and Kirsten Harper. Top 5. Retail sales, Zuma Stevenson. Chef and corporate sales manager, James and Leah Whopper. Tax preparer. Number 3, Joyce and Mike Franklin. Attorney. Oh, I see how that happened now. Kirsten and Corey Harper. And then number 1, and there's only, by a long way, a former student, new regional vice president, ring winner, David Rice and Haley Landau. RVP Base Shop Recruiting. Number 10, Harvard grad, MBA, attorney, marketing analyst, has 50 things to all of us around here. The incredible Eugene and Darcy Krabitsky. Number 9, former pastor, Tallis and Sharice Bolton. Number 8, construction and a banker, Charlie and Ramona Centillion. Customer service and a welder, Elite Irma and Joaquin Lopez. College dropouts just like me. Elite Irma and Joaquin. Oh, I already said that one, didn't I? Okay. And another Phoenix KO, Julio and CC Garcia. Number 5, they're gonna blow through 1 million on this 19, before this 19 months and 4 days is up with Beam. And I'm excited that they're plugged in and they're such a valuable couple. Their future's incredible. He was a student. I actually personally field trained this dude when he was only 17. The incredible Mark and Nubia Hinsonia. Number 4, she was a bartender. He worked for the railroad. They're an incredible couple. They are, I mean, they complete each other, man. The incredible Aaron Heckard and Michael Morris. A welder from Boeing and a recruiting machine. The incredible David and Shelley Bear. And this one don't fall from the fall far from the tree. An optician, number 2, Martha Esperanza and Erica. And then number 1, and there's only, by a long way, a farmer. I'm going to say a lot more about him later. Number 1, Tom and Kristen Rice. Hey, Jim, I'm just going to keep reading. In licensing, personal licenses, got 5 people personally licensed. And so the top 4, Casey and Jennifer Corey. 5.5 personally licensed, Jacob Rice. Number 2, they broke the tie with the recruiting, I believe, Karen David Dowers. And number 1, David Rice and Haley Landau. At the district level, in our 4 fundamental beliefs, having a standard of excellence is one of our things. So we have minimum standards. And I don't care if you're number 2 or anywhere in there, you gotta have a minimum standard. So we got 1 at the district level with 4. Number 1, Hannah Costello. Number 1 at the division leader licenses, a business owner, PJ Bronner. Regional leaders, licensing, number 5, Zuma Stevenson. Number 4 and number 2, Corey and Kirsten and Corey Harper. Number 3, Jacob Rice. And then number 1, and there's only David Rice and Haley Landel. Now, top 5 RVPs, and then Jim's got the MVPs, and we're giving some $1 million rings out. Number 5 at RVP, Karen David Dowers. They walked across here a lot tonight. Number 4, Eugene and Darcy Krupitsky. And they are a total team at getting things licensed now. Number 3, David and Shelley Beard. Number 2, Aaron Heckard and Michael Morris. And then number 1, and there's only 1, Tom and Kristen Wright. Jim, come tell us who the MVPs are at each level.
We got a lot of recognition tonight. We got some really special stuff with Tom and his family and what they've accomplished. But man, one of the greatest things we always do is the MVP Awards. MVP Awards are calculated from all areas: recruiting, premium, licensing, and securities. A combination of that is a well-rounded business, and that is the premise of our MVPs.
That's way more sparkly than mine was.
So our first district MVP is listening tonight from Florida. She was recruited by the great Corey Harper team. Lives in Lake Mary, Florida. She's a tax professional. And guess what she's doing this time of year? But she wants out of that in the biggest way. Corey sold her on the dream that if she leaves her profession as a CPA, then she can recruit 100 million other CPAs and says, if I can do it, you can do it. She's on her way. RVP in the next few months. She wants a big life, not just survival. She wants her big dreams to happen. Let's give it up for the district MVP, Amanda Ceballos. Division MVP from the great state of Arizona. She's an elementary teacher, only been with us 18 months. Rolling 12, 25,000 as a division. On pace to do a 50 by 50 and $100,000 ring in the next 12 months. Her middle name is resilience and perseverance. She gets after it every day. Her ultimate goal is to give her 2 daughters a life like she sees a lot of Primerica families have. She wants that more than anything. Our division MVP, Leia Acosta.
Okay, I might have broken. Oh, maybe. I popped that out of my ear, so we're good. I want to say something about these swords, because these are not the Braveheart swords, okay? Going to the MVPs. These are Knights Templar swords, okay? And the Knights Templar, for those of you who don't know, during the crusade, during the a lot of the wars that were going on, they were the most incredible protectors. They were the warriors. Yeah, I'm trying to say, I can't. I was gonna say bad butt, but not bad butt, you know.
Grand defenders.
Yeah, there you go. But they were the most admired warriors, basically, okay? And they protected the Christians as they would go across different areas. And their faith was Christian. But when you do the research on them, they were so admired for who they were, and they didn't think any religion should be killing another religion, okay? That they actually had Muslims that came and fought alongside, protecting each other because they had integrity, okay? And they didn't want to be killing people. When you do the studying on these folks, they're incredible. And with things that's going on with some archaeological digs, you're gonna learn a lot more about this stuff, but it is an incredible thing. And it'll all be posted on the app and the website stuff where it describes what they are, right? Just wanted you to know what they were. There you go.
Woo! And now, moving on to a double MVP. How about a double MVP? How about, I believe it's 3 out of the last 4 events we've had, he's been MVP, right? Tonight he's the personal MVP and also the regional leader MVP. Grew up a Primerica kid. Doesn't know anything but winning and success. But he had a bone, he had to prove himself. Daddy wasn't going to give him anything, but he wanted to win for himself. And you've seen tonight all the track meet across the stage here a lot of times. He's been there a ton. Rolling 12-month income, $135,000. 45 licenses and 207 recruits, $4.7 million in his income or in his securities over the last year. You remember, Shane, what you were saying? You were showing that example. He said, I ain't that smart, but I can figure out that, boy, you know, it's like you have 100 recruits you're going to do, right? So it's exactly, his numbers exactly here, which is really amazing, right? And so 45 licenses, he's made $45,000 last month. Let's give it up for MVP, double MVP personal and regional, the great David Rice and Haley Lando. Okay, now the RVP MVP. Again, probably 3 of the last 4, maybe 4 out of the last 4 MVPs have been this great leader. I'm not going to spend a ton of time because I know Shane's got more things to talk about as we acknowledge other great things. But this MVP, what most people don't know about Tom is that he went to RVP without a driver's license and he did an appointment without wearing a shirt. Now, that doesn't sound like Tom Rice, huh? Unbelievable, right? 2018, he made $557. 2019, $607. 2020, $698. 2021 840, and he just went over $1 million, right? The Rice family is quickly becoming the Midwest first family of Primerica. Let's give it up for Tom and Kristen Rice.
By the way, our unbelievable photographers up here, they'll have all that stuff posted. I think there's a Future Firestarter RVPs or something like that is on. You can request that on Facebook and get on there. It'll be on Telegram, all that kind of stuff. So you have a bunch of great... Don't make me use that sword. Okay, so now, Jacob and David and, you guys that are here ought to be up here. Okay, so this is stuff you're taking home to your So, it was so exciting when they went over $1 million in income. I was in Dallas. There were executives you cannot believe trying to make sure the right stuff got processed for this to happen. I mean, our company's an incredible company. And Tom wasn't with us in Dallas because in case this one thing didn't hit, he had more stuff he had to write to get done, And so, we were down there. I was so proud when he went over. And he had gotten to the point where I had gotten to. I almost went over right at 28 and 29. I almost went over. But because I was changed what I would normally do in the business, I would just keep barely missing it, right? And then I'll just run this one contest this one way, this 1 month. And before long, 90 days later, my business was not where it should have been because of how I screwed it up for a while, right? And so I had just turned over 30 before I went over $1 million. Tom and I had a conversation, I don't know, about when you were in Colorado, I think, about that time. He did a great job speaking to all the winners out in Colorado. And he was starting to get frustrated by it. And I go, you almost need to do what I did and just forget about it and go build your business and you'll blow through it, right? And he goes, you're right. And then he goes, I'm excited about not worrying about it anymore. I'm just gonna go, right? And then I'm talking to him in like early December. And he goes, I think I'm gonna get it. I go, dude, what do you mean you think you're gonna get it? I thought you weren't even gonna worry about it. You were just gonna let it happen. He goes, I can make it happen. I'm gonna go for it. And went and made it happen, right? And got these rings are incredibly beautiful. When they get them and have them on here in a bit, you guys gotta see them and get the pictures with them. Tom is obsessed. I don't know if Tom would take this as a compliment or not, but Tom is as much like me as anybody I've ever met, that this is his sport. This is what he's playing. This is what he's doing. I have people, before I grew my beard, people would call me Tom and call him Shane even. Looked like. So, but he's obsessed. He wants to win. He wants something great for his family. He wants his kids to win at whatever they want to win at. So their girls are not here because mom is with one at a basketball game that he was watching back before this event, back in the green room, was watching the basketball game. And then they're sprinting to visit a college, I think, in Nebraska, Lincoln, tonight. So that's where the girls are. But I wanted to have roses for Kristen, who is unbelievable mom, staying home, supporting the home front, all that kind of stuff. And then I wanted white roses for all three of his daughters. I don't want to get too emotional about this, but his sons are studs, the two oldest, right? They're here. One's at RVP, already has the ring. One will be in RVP soon, have the ring. They'll both make $1 million a year if they listen to what their dad teaches and all that stuff, and I know they will. His daughters are all amazing. And daughters are different, obviously, than sons. But I think his daughters think he's the best dad that they could ever freaking possibly have. And if you read what a white rose stands for, Tom has built a family of winners. He came from Larry and Ginger, a family of hardworking winners, good human beings. I'll never forget when he came up to me at a meeting. I was in the front row, and he had to talk to me. And his dad was sick, and that they wanted me to help them. And so I was like, I'll help you, however I can help you, kind of thing. And that turned into the parents entrusted me with their son and grandchildren's businesses. That's the biggest honor you could possibly ever have. And so we paid Larry and Ginger millions of dollars over a period of time. And it's been a blessing to have him a part of all of our organization. He's always positive. He's always smiling. Even when he's not, he is. Okay? He always answers the phone for me. And if I ask him something, yep. He doesn't care. He don't even hear what I say. Yep. No, what do you need? Do it. Yep. Okay. His team was like, the Vermeers are here. There's a lot of people here. I think in part because he's getting these rings tonight. So I admire the human being he is, the parent he is, more than the leader he is in the Primerica business. But we just getting started. This little thing out the way now, right? And now we can get to the $1 million a month. We can go to the 19. One day you weren't nice to me, I think, maybe. No, these are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, when I was showing them to Manny and all of them, don't they look freaking awesome? They're like, they look better than everybody else's, don't they? All right, dude. All right, we got that one's yours. Let's put that on your dang finger. Yeah, get the whole family there. Tom will be closing things tomorrow, and you don't want to miss what he's got to say. Fairly large black wallet, woman's wallet, right? So keep your eyes looking for that. As we get ready to head on out of here, let's make sure we pick everything up that we can pick up. Hug Tom to death. Tomorrow, we have our optional service at 8 a.m. with Manny and Karina, myself, Pastor Lee. That will be live streamed. And then at 9 o'clock sharp, you can't be late. We got a lot to cover in a short period of time, and you don't want to miss it, all right? Have a great evening!
you.